actually try to hide anything. I never portray myself as being someone of high standing or on any sort of high horse. So when I say to you, hey, I've done this before, and whatever. I don't have any shame in doing it. I provide you guys with a shit ton of education and entertainment, and I never ask for anything. Right? As a matter of fact, I just give. All I do is give. You want, here's the free music, here's the free entertainment, here's the opinions that, that put myself, my family, my everything in jeopardy or in danger. I'm going to do that because that's what needs to happen. I was talking to this guy on one of the videos that, it's a DAP video, and the guy was saying, somebody was saying, Jay Carnicon has a bunch of warrants for his arrest and shit like that, for assault and different things, and he was saying, by doing it the way that Jay does it, he puts himself at risk, and he's got all these warrants and yada yada yada. And it's like, yeah, but sometimes, if you want to fix the problem, you have to be willing to do it, right? What do you want? Nothing. Okay. So sometimes, you got to say the things that shouldn't be said. You got to do the things that nobody else is going to do. And that's I've guaranteed myself and my family to be poor and struggling, no matter how good my shit is, no matter how good my presentation is, no matter how thorough I am, none of it. So this is a sacrifice I've made for the truth. We definitely shouldn't be in a place where I would ever need help, right? But unfortunately, my brand new car, our new car, it's not brand new, new to us car, is taking a shit. And, my kid is home right now because I had to turn around midway and be like, look, this thing isn't making it to the school. So I need some fucking money. Unless you want to buy me a new car, I need some money. So if anybody wants to help out by throwing us a few dollars, we'd really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. Not surprising it's a new car. Well, it was her mom's car, actually. It was her mom's car, and it sat
basically from February to January.
It sat for basically a year. But even then,
I mean, he drove it around the neighborhood,
periodically.
Once a week,
maybe.
just to make sure it was.
If he did, then it wouldn't have been that way. He might have said he did that. He probably didn't do it nearly as much as he should have. But even still, I would imagine it wasn't taken care of as well as it probably should have been. Just little things that would pop up, and instead of being looked at, it's fine. I'm not worried about it. It'll fix itself. It'll go away. And that sort of, do I have PayPal? No, I don't have Venmo. I have PayPal. So if you want to help out, please throw some money to Pickles Mom 2010 at gmail.com. You will see the PayPal page, and you'll help out. I appreciate it, right?
But they're going to see Mom's name.
Doesn't matter what name they see. It's ours. That's our account.
If they're looking for our names, they're not going to see it.
Oh, well. Understand, So you have a Bitcoin wallet. I wish I had a Bitcoin wallet. I wish I'd have been smart enough to buy Bitcoin all those years ago.
That shit's about to tank.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
The dude that created Bitcoin, they just found him all in the Epstein files. He was funded.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everything is connected to Epstein. Doesn't matter. Bitcoin, if you happen to buy like a couple of Bitcoins when they first came out for a couple of bucks, they'd be worth millions. It's insane. It's insane. And I'm not a guy that's real big on the digital. I don't like anything digital. I don't like the digital, like sports cards. I don't like digital sports cards. I want to be able to touch my shit. But you know, it just is what it is. We all hit a wall sometimes. You know. Again, I've never portrayed myself to be some super successful, you know, living high on the hog kind of guy. It's always been a struggle. I just don't talk about it all the time. I'm not one to talk about my personal struggles all the time compared to the big struggles, compared to the rapes, compared to the child violation, compared to the genocide, compared, you know, and I hate when I look at shit like that, I think like, how dare I ask for help when look at what exists. Look at what should be helping or what we should be helping instead. Let's see. Why did I block you on Grindr last night? Because your dick was too small. What the fuck are you talking about? Of course. I don't want your micro penis. You know, plus you had all those pictures of you with kids and shit. Like, what the fuck's that about? So, yeah, that's why you got blocked. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. So, like I say, anybody that wants to help out, we definitely appreciate it. We understand that you won't. But hey, what the fuck? You know, like I say, I believe, I don't even believe I'm asking you for like money, you know? At this point, it's like, dude, how much time do I provide for you? How much time do you spend on me? Whether it's live or it's after the fact and you're trying to figure out little things and shit.
Well, look at it this way. How much do you pay to take a college course?
Yeah, you did go too far, dude. That whole all those pictures of you and kids is gross. Anyway, college.
How much money do you pay for a college course to learn a bunch of shit?
It's all fake bullshit too.
You know, you come here for an education for free.
I appreciate the idea that the thing. I don't have Venmo, so not gonna. You know, I don't even know what to do there. Don't have the ability to set anything up right now. So again, it's PayPal or bust, and you know if that's what it is. That's what it is. I appreciate the offer. I appreciate the gesture. If you want to, go grab your free download. www.the-bilderberg-group.com, and you can donate it there. I think we accept Venmo through there. No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the thought. It just is what it is, man. That's all it is. It sucks. It's a shitty spot to be in. It sucks. I can't believe I can't take my kid to school today because of it. Like, that sucks. He should be at school. He can't miss days of school. Hard enough to deal with them being sick and shit. Now we got to deal with this. What about super chats? But I don't know what super chats are. I'm old, guys. Remember, I'm fucking old. Old and low tech. I don't know any of that shit.
When something goes
I got
wrong with
PayPal.
our phone, we give it to our 13-year-old. Yeah. Here, fix it.
You think he's got a toupee, huh?
No. It's all natural. Those Hawaiians
Look,
are known for
father and son.
Thick, luxurious hair, aren't they?
Yeah, actually.
No, they're not. It's thin. It's shiny and beautiful. But it's thin. Not a lot of it.
Crazy, man. It's crazy. This whole shit's crazy. That we live in a world where, you know, something. Look at those baseball cards stuck to the wall. I wish I could get my hands on those.
Now,
Look at that.
being
Those
in
are really
such
valuable.
tropical weather, doesn't that affect them?
Probably. Especially having them stuck up on a wall like that. That's the worst thing you can do. Yeah. Starboy the Knight, you've got one in there that's wrong. Algo, what's happening? I'm not even talking to you, Algo. You already helped. I appreciate it. I'm not hitting you up again. You helped out. Algo helped out a long time ago, and we appreciate it. But
Didn't you just have some sort of big car trouble too?
Starboy the Knight posted all those religious symbols. Do you know that most of those religious symbols are all the same umbrella? Right? It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. The way that we're told to exist, the world that you know that we're forced into is bullshit. Imagine panhandling. Yup, imagine it. Imagine having the fucking courage to admit that, hey, you know, shit's not always perfect and sometimes you need a hand. Oh man, what an asshole. You have to love it, man. Sorry, I'm not a friar. I don't get a friar check every fucking month. Well, you're chosen, so because you're chosen, you get that free chosen money. I want my 170-some thousand.
Thousands of dollars when you turn 13 years old.
Right. It's got to be tough, huh? That bar mitzvah shit. You spend all your money on weed. Yup. I sure do. It never occurs to you that maybe, just maybe, our weed situation isn't what you think it is. Nah, we're always buying weed. That's what we do. Our little car got totaled right after Christmas.
That's what it was. Yeah.
That sucks.
I'm sorry, honey.
It sucks. Shit sucks. But Algo has family magic, so one car goes, another car shows. Right. Don't care about the strains. So, yep, I'm selling weed now. Yep, I'm selling weed.
Right.
Isn't it weird how the friars always come up with shit that isn't being said so they can make an argument? Because they can't make an argument about what's being said.
Well, and they missed the part that you said you're old. Old people don't do that shit. Like, you do that shit when you're in your 20s.
If I was selling weed and I lived like this,
I'd be a really bad weed seller.
Yeah, I'd be doing the wrong thing.
Right.
I'd be really bad at my job.
I think we've spent $20 on weed in the last year. And that's when I bought that cloudy shit from the dispensary. Little gram and a half or whatever for $20.
Yeah. And, you know, weed is medical. You just don't know about it because we don't talk about it all the time. But this is instead of taking pills. This is instead of drugs. Right. This is a legal thing at this point. It's desperation, right? The desperation that my opponents have, they anything they can get on, they will. And that's, you know, again, I wish I had the I could just call Uncle Maury and everything would be all right situation. But unfortunately, I wasn't born into that insanity. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. No idea what you're talking about. But it is what it is, man. I'm not, you know, this is what they do. Instead of addressing, you know, what's actually happening, this is how they do it. And then they have that arrogance, you know, like they accomplished something because they were given it. It's really interesting. But, you know,
they feel like they deserve it.
Right. It's they earned it.
That.
And you know what? Probably did. You know, their rich dad was probably a motherfucker. And there was a whole bunch of shit that went on behind the scenes. Because, you know, how does having all of the money to be able to fix all of the shit problems that we all deal with, and you don't have to deal with those problems, how does that make you into an asshole?
It doesn't. That's a choice.
Well, but that's the point, is that when you have all of your needs met, when you're never struggling, then what would foster that? What would create that inside you that would make you this person who, you know, acts like you're higher than thou, looks down on people and all that shit. I know when I would have like really great days parking cars, I'd you know, make like $200 in a 3-4 hour time frame. I would then have to drive home, and I would drive because the restaurant was in the heart of Detroit, and then I would have to drive out to the outskirts of Detroit. There would be, you know, there would be homeless people. There would be people along the way that I would constantly feel bad for. And I would look at this money and I'd be like, man, you know, did I really earn $200? Like, did I work $200 worth? Or am I just really great at my job? And every time that would happen, I would always feel bad. And I would always give people, you know, I would give money. Whenever I did well, I would give it to, you know, a couple of people. I mean, obviously, I couldn't just be a bank, an ATM, handing out money like crazy. But I would still, you know, it's weird.
When I made a lot of money and had all my needs met, I didn't turn into an asshole. I still helped people. I was so fucking tired from working so hard all the time. Who has the energy to be an asshole after all that? I don't know, but
I mean, it's just you have to ask yourself like what that is, right? And like I say, there's so many people out there where you just look at them and you go, man, I would give anything to have your life, but they're just monsters. And you go like, so obviously something else transpired there. You know, maybe being shipped off to boarding school at a young age and not being raised by your family and being raised in an environment with a bunch of other rich kids who haze each other. And, you know, like I always had a hard time. Like I could have fit in with the popular kids. I just didn't want to. I didn't like them. I didn't like the things they would do. I always thought if somebody passes out, they get too fucked up and they pass out, shouldn't we take care of them?
yes.
Why do you want to fuck with them? And then, you know, you think it's funny to like put your balls on their head or something like that. Like that's really gay. You know, a lot of the stuff you're doing is kind of gay. It's like when Cartman, you know, when Butters passed out and Cartman took a picture of Butters' dick in his mouth and he thought it was funny. And you go, dude, what? Are you not paying attention here? Like, let me try it. Like, I took a picture of another dude's dick in my mouth. What do you think of that? Oh, that's gay. Well, there you go. Right? It's just so, it's, you know, the rich kids were always so weird, cruel. We had this girl, her name was Jenny Ernst. And by today's standards,
That name sounds familiar.
she was fucking probably your age. You know, she was one of those girls who was.
Is she blonde?
Yep.
I think I know who you're talking about.
She was by today's, you know, standards, she'd be considered autistic, I would assume. She'd definitely be on some sort of spectrum. And what was allowed to be done to her would not be allowed today. She was allowed, like the teachers would just turn a blind eye. And she was a little monster. But it's because everybody fucked with her all the time. And so she had this really aggressive, she would like spit at you and shit. She would just try to keep people away. She walk all funny. you know, and she was just a weird little girl. And we had her in math class. And our math class was applied math. And so we would have all our desks, you know, it'd be like 4 or 5 desks for each group. And everybody would group up and Jenny'd be like left to the side. And so one day I'm like, "Hey, Jenny, come sit with us." And she was all sketchy and I'm like, "Look, nobody's going to say anything shitty to you. Nobody's going to be mean to you. We just want you to sit with us and, you know, just hang out. Just be a part of the group. I'm not going to let anybody be mean to you." And I didn't. And she came in and she, you know, she was good at the math. Like she contributed and she was nice. And I, you know, she was never shitty to me after that point. And she was like you know, she had issues. Again, by today's standards, we'd probably have a lot more understanding about what she was actually going through. But like, I remember this one time, this kid, Dave Kroback, he literally tipped her desk over. Like she was sitting in the desk and he tipped her over. And the teacher just laughed.
What?
He was the fucking football coach, Mr. Schumacher. And he like had the teaching gig. I don't know, maybe it was for like a fucking pension or some shit. But he was the math teacher. And he just didn't give a fuck. He'd look up and all right, whatever. He didn't care. He had that attitude of like, if you're not going to put in the effort, I don't give a fuck about you. But like the you know, and I grew up around the richest of the kids. You know, I grew up
around old money.
Right, Northville. Right, Northville kids were definitely the most entitled. You know, that was our money, and you know who my dad is. My dad owns the street, well, mine owns the sky. You know, they were, and I think a lot more of them were Jewish than I realized. But then again, they would have been in Hebrew school.
Northville's a big Christian Presbyterian old money.
There was plenty of Jews.
Yeah, but it wasn't primarily.
No, definitely wasn't a primary Jewish. But they were like awful. They really were. I didn't have any rich friends. You know, I had Fatty's family was probably the wealthiest family.
You were friends with the Abels in Omi Sub?
No.
Mandy and
I wasn't friends with anybody in Omi Sub. I knew the kids. When we were kids, we hung out.
What was her little brother's name?
I have no idea. I have no idea who you're talking about. But we would hang out as kids, you know how kids do. But then it was like when cliques started happening and shit like that, it just made things weird. But like my friends were Michael. Michael wasn't fucking rich by any means. His mom lived in Northville because his dad got shot in the commission of a robbery. She had 4 kids and they all got military pensions. So she lived high on the hog, you know, because she was getting so much money. But as the kids, you know,
aged out, she lost that money.
She lost it all.
By that, the house was paid off.
Oh, yeah. But it was probably remortgaged and all that shit. I mean, they didn't make much. I think there was more financial issues than people realized. But like, and then my other friends were like, I had friends from Plymouth that I hung out with. Like I had friends from my previous schools. Which was not old money. Or Tommy. Tommy was one of my best friends, and Tommy lived down by the track. He lived in one of those houses that was right by the track. So like there were these spots in Northville where like there would be poor people. Northville actually had a fucking trailer park. They don't have that anymore. It's gone.
Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone. But like, you know,
Shit, Swan Harbor had the subsidized apartment.
Right.
I bet you they don't do that anymore.
And those apartments are huge by today's standards too. If you look at how,
so nice.
when you look at,
it was so fucking nice.
right, you look at how big those things were.
Yeah, it was really.
Nowadays, you're lucky if there's a light fixture. Right? They build them without light fixtures anymore, so you have to provide your own light fixtures in the house. But like I never hung out with the rich kids 'cause I just didn't like them. I'd go to a party or whatever, and they would all just be like, they would just be assholes. They'd click up, and one of the kids that was normally like friend would be the target that night. Or like you say, when they would walk away, we always used to laugh at the girls that would come over to my house because they would do it all the time. As soon as one girl would leave and go to the bathroom, oh my God, she is such a bitch. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was so weird growing up with those kids. And they were hippies. I grew up in the the rebirth of the hippie. And I didn't realize it until later, but you have to have rich parents to be a hippie. How else can you not work, do drugs, go to Grateful Dead concerts? I tour with the Dead. Well, you must have a credit card you use.
Yeah, Lori had a couple of friends, Benji and I can't remember the other dude's name, and they were both hippies. Ari, I think his name was. Both hippies.
A lot of the Jew kids did the hippie thing.
Wore fucking
dirty
sandals with dirty ass feet and
like they tried to be. Obviously, they were rebelling against where they came from for a reason. There had to be something going on in the house that would make them want to resist it so much.
We met them at Hines Park one time. It was one of the first times I had run into them. And when we were finished, we were leaving, we were walking to the cars, and Lori had a Lexus, of course. And,
of course. A high school girl with a Lexus.
Oh, it was Emmett, not Ari. Benji and Emmett get into Emmett's car, and it's
Benji is a Jew.
So is Emmett.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I don't. Benji is a general giveaway. If their name's Benji, if they go by Benji.
It was a badass Mercedes. This dude was 19. Badass. This dirty, grungy, stinky ass boys are getting in this and we get in the car, and mind you, Lori's got a Lexus, We get in the car, and I'm like, is that his car? Or is that his dad's? She's like, no, it's Evan's. I was like, what? Why does he look like he's so fucking poor? She goes, oh no, his family's loaded. And her family was loaded. So for her to say that, he was loaded. Badass Mercedes, and this dirty, stinky ass dude.
I think the majority of you didn't live that. Going to school in Northville and Novi were like these little islands. Plymouth and Canton and shit, these were middle class, working hard, blue collar. And there's a lot of wealth in Plymouth, Canton. But like she said, that old money thing is just different. And it's not something that you understand unless you've been there. And you've seen it and you've experienced it. And, it's just so weird. It's like it has so many good qualities to it. But there's this underlying misery that can only come from horrible shit. So many. When I was a garbage man, it was shocking to go through these neighborhoods and see how many alcohol bottles house after house after house would be throwing out or recycling or whatever. And you just think there's no way that's weekend use. You had some sort of party or something. You're a fucking severe alcoholic.
Well, I remember going to, is it the Detroit Hunt Club or something? It's downtown, and it's super exclusive. And it's almost
why would I know?
Like a hidden door, okay? And the Falcons would have a lot of their. It was a membership you had to pay. I'm sure over $1 million a year. And we'd go in there, and it was.
It's funny. My wife doesn't quite realize how many of her old stories actually involve Jews. All this time, you don't think about it, but I hear you talk and I hear you say names, and it's like, man, it sure is a lot of Jews in your stories.
Well, but even among the Jews, it was divided. They would classify you're either generational or new. So, and the people of generational wealth would always end up separated from the new money. Like
They can't relate to each other,
they
though.
would praise them for being self-made, but at the next breath, they were almost an embarrassment because they didn't know how to properly act and carry themselves in those big money circles. So then they were like looked down upon, even though they were. It was such a strange dynamic. And then the generational, it was almost like how you have to be on your best behavior to be in the room full of the grandmas and the grandpas. It's kind of how it was.
Of course. Well, but I mean,
Strange.
they've been. It's like if you all of a sudden inherit a bunch of money, you can't just go into high society. You don't know how to do it. Just think about the table. Think about if you sat at a like a really high fine dining table and they had all the different forks and spoons and all that. You wouldn't know what to do. There's all like a lot of times rich people or newly rich people they take etiquette classes so they learn how to be rich because it's not enough that you're just rich. You have to know how to walk. You have to know how to present yourself. You have to know how to speak. You have to know the rituals, the customs, it's all so weird. And having family that was, Project Paperclip had the money and was doing everything they could to fit in. We did that. I can remember going to my grandma's house for like dinners and holidays, and my mom would be stressing out because we would have to dress all up, and I'd just be like, I'm gonna go downstairs and wrestle with my cousins. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh no, we always dressed up.
Right? Like, it's so weird. Why would I,
It's etiquette.
So much of that, but that's just it. When you step back and you go, well, what is that? What is etiquette? It's this rich way this way of being that rich people decided that you should be. And it's not fun.
But
it's not like nobody enjoys it.
It's not true.
It's uncomfortable. It's and I do get it in certain respects. Like there is time and place, but I don't know. I just think so much of it is about that separation. If you go to a rich people's Christmas and where it's fine dining and it's all these things, expensive gifts, and you go to like some bumpkin Christmas where they have generations of family there and they play games and everybody has a good time. Like, you're gonna have a lot more fun at the bumpkin Christmas.
Depends on what you like.
No. It just having a general good time where you're not being scrutinized and not every move you make is the wrong one or the right. Like, it's not fun to be in that situation. It's not pleasant to be in those situations where I'm supposed to show, I'm a shiny hood ornament. Or you might be shinier than me. Like, that's fucking stupid.
I don't know. I always enjoyed those nice formal dinner parties. If you know how to act, it's not a big deal. And it's not even.
I think you say that, but you're talking about a 20-year ago, Angela. Think about it now. Think about sitting around all those stuffy pieces of shit, talking all the racist shit that they talk, and just all the things that, like, I'm sure there's conversations that you sat through in your life many times that you would sit there now and be like, oh my God, I can't believe they're saying this. But back then, you just didn't even think about it. What you know now, it's just different. I have no desire to, like, if we suddenly had a bunch of money, I would have some really nice, like, sweatsuits. Some nice sweatpants and matching, there would be times when we would go out to eat and stuff, and I don't mind dressing up. There's no doubt about that. I don't mind all that stuff. But, it's one thing when you're doing it because you like to do it and you're just doing it for you. But it's another thing because you have to meet other people's expectations. And to have the judgment from people and all that kind of shit. Like, what's the point? Do you have some talent to be on YouTube, or are you just yapping? Gee, did we just discover another friar? Hello, dumb friar. Why are you here, dumb friar? You're who we're talking about. Yeah. Those high society, the overtly Jewish high society shit. Like it's just all crazy. It's all crazy, and really like what you don't think about enough is how manufactured your reality is. What you think of as proper, as etiquette, as this, as that. Like, obviously, don't chew with your mouth fucking open and shit like that. But, like, the idea that if I use this fork, it's the wrong fork, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. What the fuck do I care? You know, oh, we're going to play dress. And see, that's the other thing, is so much of it is like, it's like rich children playing dress up. You know, hey, let's put on outfits and then we'll pretend we're adults. Oh, I have on my top hat. Do, 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 do. Like, it's just pretend. It's weird. It's not natural. It's not normal. It's not how you would just be. You know, hey, I want to be comfortable. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I want to be surrounded by good people and everybody. You know, sit there. If the queen comes up, you just stand there. Don't you touch the queen. You can't touch the queen, you dirty fucking Goyim. It gets crazy. Meh, 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 meh. The funniest thing is, most of you think of that as the graduation song. I'm like, Macho Man, Randy Savage, oh yeah. That's what I think about every time. That was the only song I learned how to play this on the saxophone. When I took band in 6th grade, and I was like, oh, I'm going to take the saxophone because that'll be fun. I'll be fucking great at saxophone. Yeah, saxophone sucks. That shit's hard. But one day, me and John missed the bus, and we had to wait hours for somebody to come pick us up. So we sat under a tree, and we learned how to play Pomp and Circumstance because he played saxophone too. Yeah, I was last chair.
All the wind instruments, saxophone or reed instruments, it's one of the easiest.
Yeah, sure it is. I'm sure you can rock it out. Mr. Reeves was our band teacher. He was this little guy, and he played the trumpet. And every time he played the trumpet, there'd be this bit of spit that would come down his chin. Oh.
I did not like brass instruments. Spit's gross. But yes, I could play the saxophone. I just didn't like how it sounded. That's why I like to play clarinet.
Band is stupid. It's so stupid. It's so cool. Like, it's cool in a way, but it's so stupid. You don't like, I don't know.
Make all of those different people and those different instruments sound like one cohesive. It's amazing.
Yeah, when that happens.
Well, but to watch the succession of it happening, to see how bad you are that first week, and then by the end of the school year, everybody's it's fucking awesome.
I wonder how well I could do it. I wonder if my fingers and the memory's still in there.
It's the mouth and the tongue.
But the frets you gotta.
Oh yeah.
I was just so delusional. I had no idea. Like I thought, okay, I'm gonna join band and I'm gonna be like, like, I just thought that was how it worked. I didn't realize it was so difficult. Oh, I hated it. But I hated school, and I had like a bad situation at home, so it just all didn't fit. You know, it was weird to be like, you know, like, come from the money, but don't have the money, but kind of do. But like the thing was with my family, the grandparents had the money, but everything came with so many strings attached. And it was so full of guilt, and it wasn't like a situation where it's like, oh hey, I'm happy to help you.
Well, also you were the child that didn't make anything of themselves. The one of her kids that didn't make anything of themselves.
But she did.
So
She did great for herself. That's the thing. Is it wasn't
engineers.
Right. It wasn't like she did, what she was supposed to do, but she still did good for herself.
They weren't proud of her. So you're already coming from
I get it.
Behind the, you had less of a chance is what I'm saying.
I get it. Yeah, I hear you.
There were probably a lot.
And then there's the whole happy thing. As much as they want to pretend like, oh no, we're not racist. They're very racist. They're very racist. It was all just, I remember being a kid and getting yelled at for what my dad was doing.
I bet you Henry's kids and Mark's kids had a lot less strings when they ever needed help than you experienced. He experienced.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
Right.
The strings, that it was always bullshit. There's always, or not even condition, just more just the guilt and the like again, I don't do that with my kids. I don't want them to feel that way. My wife really has that bad. She comes from that generation, and it's like, just no. If one of our friends asks for help, we're quick to help. We don't care. If we have $40 left, and our friend asks for, hey, I need, can I borrow $20 so I can get to the fucking, yeah, no problem. We don't give a fuck. We'll live tight so we can help you out. And knowing that's how I think about things, I don't have a problem asking for help. And I don't ever expect the reality is we didn't succeed. If we were fucking rich and powerful people and we were still in that situation, that'd be one thing. But the fact is, we didn't make the best decisions. We found ourselves in situations we never thought we'd find ourselves in. And every once in a while, people need help. That's it. You're not gonna be great at something. Like, it's one of the problems with, the reason why I felt that way about saxophone was because that's how it was for me. When I did stuff, I was great at it. When it was physical, when it was, I was always the best at whatever it was. And when I wasn't, it bugged the shit out of me. I wanted to be the best. Or if I wasn't the best, I would be at the top. Like, if it was something specific like soccer, obviously the kids that played soccer longer than me are going to be better than me in that regard. Knowing the plays, knowing what to do. Soccer's a much more of a skilled thing. You got to be, eye-foot coordination. It's not something that we're used to. But it was, that's a blessing and a curse. Because when you're not good at something right off the bat, it makes it, it's foreign to you. And you're like, ugh, it's embarrassing and it's whatever. My kid, I was telling him today, he should take his workbook that we have for him into class, into his homework session after school. He was like, no, the kids will make fun of me. I was like, people are going to make fun of you for wanting to fucking better yourself? Like, and if that's the case, don't care. I think, fortunately for us, in a weird way, you gotta find the silver linings in things. And because of the elementary / middle school my kids went to, they ended up being a bit behind because the school was shit. And it was there's a lot to it. Like, it was hard. Like, how do you pull them out? But I would tell my kid all the time, like, listen, I know it feels like these kids are so important and this situation is so important to you. But as soon as you're out of this school, you're never going to see any of these kids again. None of it's going to matter. And it's going to feel like a lifetime ago. But when you're in it, it's hard to do that. It's hard to think like that. And now, with them having moved past and whatever, it's like, you see that? You remember how important this person was, or that person's approval was, or whatever? Now you never see them. You don't care. Who gives a shit? They're nothing. They're nobody. You have to really, like, it's one thing to care. You don't want to be the smelly kid. You don't want to be the obnoxious dumbass. But you can't let other people's insecurity, because you don't know. You don't know what's, again, you have to look at people and think, well, you're pretty good looking. You come from money. You can, you get decent grades. Why are you so, what's going on? Why would you possibly be an asshole when you have those things going for you? Well, maybe their home life isn't so good. I think a lot of people deal with a lot more behind closed doors than we realize. I mean, look at how many Trump supporters there are in this country, supposedly. Imagine what it's like to be a kid and have a Trump supporting father. It's got to be weird.
My godparents are all about Trump. I don't get it, because they would deport my godfather in a second if they talked to him. He's legal, but he doesn't look it or sound it, so he'd be on the chopping block.
Well, so I mean, it's because your godparents are really racist and, really ist. And Trump represents those things. And that's the reality.
How does she like him?
Huh?
How does she like him? He hates her and he hates her husband. So
because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So all of the brown people that your family hates, well, Trump hates them too. I mean, your godparents, they blame everyone but their kids for their kids. It's everyone else's fault. They made them do that. They introduced them to that. They this, that, and the other. Instead of being like, obviously, they're a prime example of it. They're a prime example of, man, you grew up with every advantage possible. You had the mother and the father at home. And you never wanted for a thing in your fucking life. Why would you be such obnoxious shitbags? And it's because, talking to them about sex as kids was something that was all, no, we gotta pretend this, we gotta act this way, there was all the discipline, there was so much religion, and it didn't work. Like those two boys were some of the most, like, what the fucks I've ever met in my life. Like, good looking, man. Especially Manoli. My God.
Oh, see, I think Jamie was cuter than Manoli, but they were both.
Manoli was handsome. Manoli was like, he was just,
face is all fucked up now.
Right. And these guys, they had every opportunity possible.
He was in a severe car accident.
But he was in a severe car accident because of his fucking act, because he was running from the police and shit.
Ran into somebody's house.
The youngest one is gonna die anytime now from fucking opiates, because he
overdosed again. What, 2 months ago?
I don't know. What you don't know what happened. Probably last week. If you haven't talked to her in a couple of weeks, and it's probably, it's a good chance he overdosed. One of my cousins is the same way. But again, I know, like, on the surface they looked all right, but I wouldn't have wanted to grow up in Mark's house. Are you crazy?
I was gonna say, how was your cousin growing up? Was he a total fucking nutbag? Because these two were out of control nutbags from the time they could walk.
Yeah, exactly. These kids were, but they were also
like bad kids.
But I guarantee Nick would sit back.
Nick wasn't home a lot. Nick worked his ass off. It was always her, and those kids were out of fucking control.
But she was also she's one of those women that will be the first one. If you say anything to her kid, she's going to jump all over you.
People didn't have a chance. She was already screaming at him, though. It wasn't like that. She was nonstop
No,
screaming.
she wasn't.
Yes, she was.
She would be screaming at one, but there would be one over, she couldn't.
They were constantly doing shit. Sweetheart, I'm telling you, those kids
I'm
were
sure.
the worst.
I'm sure. And she was, the way that she handled it, she didn't sit him down and talk to him and try.
No,
she screamed and flipped down, beat him, and,
spank their ass and scream at them.
And obviously that didn't do shit. That didn't work.
Oh my God. Manoli slid. We had a picture window like we do, but the window slid to the side. And he would slide the screen, bring the garden hose into the living room and turn the fucking hose on and fill the living room full of water. He was so bad.
That's psychotic.
They were both so bad.
Yeah, that's psychotic. Those are the type of kids.
The giant fucking 200-gallon fish tank that took up the.
Yeah, but see,
oh
again,
my God, they were so
you obviously that was created. They were allowed to be bad.
But the girls were. We practically lived there. The girls were not like that. Mandy was so.
She wasn't allowed to be.
But they didn't. They just weren't. Angela was a great kid. She was just from young. She was just a good kid. And then Manoli came, and it was like, what the fuck is this? And then
because he's a boy, and the Greek,
Mandy
the first boys, and it's
Oh my God, it was
and
crazy.
the problem too is, again, you have your perspective point of view. You weren't an adult, and I'm sure if you weren't an adult and you would have watched that situation, you would have seen it completely differently. Because I mean, it's like Angel. Remember, Angel would yell at her kids. Angel was always there, but her kids were like, it was like, okay, don't do that, and then they do it. Okay, don't do that, and then there's no, you don't need to be forceful. I think more, especially when kids you got to reason with them.
I remember we were playing hide and seek one time, and Jamie was 3, so I was probably 9, around 9, and we were playing hide and seek, and nobody could find Jamie. We looked all over, and it was a small house in Southfield at the time. We looked all over, could not find Jamie. All of a sudden, we looked up. He was on the fucking roof of the house, 3 years old, and he's laughing and smiling. We're like, how the fuck did you get up there? Oh my God, we panicked. That
was a good story.
Fucking 3 years old, up on the goddamn roof of a house.
Yeah.
Playing hide and seek. What 3-year-old thinks of that? He was insane.
A 3-year-old that's allowed to do a lot more shit than you realize. That's the thing. Is again, these situations are created, and they're fostered, and they're our kids would be so bad.
But see, you have to also. Some kids just would never think of that. Like Nick wouldn't think of that. Nathan would. They're just different minds,
I don't think so.
Nick was always just inherently more cautious.
For sure, but I just don't think. I don't know. The point being, I just, the rich dynamic, right? Where you have everything should make you better. And very few people can I think of where they had everything and they were just awesome. They had a good story. They had a good, they were good, generous, helpful people. There were few, yeah, but it was just, I don't know. Even my friend Rob.
The uber wealthy always seem to be the selfish assholes.
For sure. But my friend Rob, he had lots of money. He came from money. He inherited money. Blah 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 blah. But then yeah,
Big Rob?
Yeah. But then he Biggins. You go in his basement, and his basement is full of dead animal heads all over the wall that he's killed. His dad would take him on safaris and shit, and they would kill
I never went down in the basement.
endangered, fucking rare shit. Like, but it's like, dude.
Is that where the boys went to see the rats? Is that why I didn't go down there?
Yeah, probably. But it's just like, I don't understand that. I want to kill things.
Yeah, I don't get that.
What makes that exist in you? The idea of the things that I'm eating having to have been killed bothers me. Let alone, like, this majestic deer. Oh, look, it's a 10-point deer, meaning it's hasn't been fucking killed yet.
Did Anthony take my dad's bearskin rug?
I don't know. But it's got fucking, it's majestic. It's standing there, and it's muscly, and it's beautiful, and it's drinking from the stream. And again, you want to kill it when it's least expecting, so its muscles don't tense up and ruin the flavor. You see that majestic creature, and you're like, I want to kill it. Yeah, I want to kill it. Ooh, a bear. Ooh, I want to kill that bear.
Every time we'd be driving up north and we'd see a deer, Gary's response would always be, oh man, wish I had my rifle right now. And I would always be like, ew, that's gross. What's wrong with you?
But, you think of the type of person that he was. He's changed. He's mellowed out. He's grown and he's evolved in some regards. But, like, this is a racist. This is a homophobic guy. This is a sexist. This is a very religious Christian Catholic guy.
Programmed from birth with
right?
all of those things.
All of those things. All of those white, hardworking.
Pumped into them.
Farmers. They weren't poor, but they were, And the fruits came later in life. They did well. They worked hard, but they did well. But like, it fits, He's check this box, check this box, check this. Oh yeah, he likes to kill stuff too. Like, what is going on there? How can you be ultra extra super religious and kill things? Because of God's creatures, right? That's life.
Really read their Bible. It doesn't say anything about go ambush a fucking creature, kill it, and eat it.
Go get yourself a high-powered weapon. Set yourself up a blind so they can't see you. Spray out. No, not just a salt lick, but also put out some pheromones so they come running thinking they're getting some pussy. Like it's how is that hunting?
That's not sport.
Like, I would have so much more respect for you if you killed it with a knife.
The dude that killed the ox, or whatever.
Right. That's it. And I still hated it. Because the only reason he had to kill that thing is for the fucking TV show.
Right.
That thing died to film a TV show. Because if not for the TV show alone, being there, that animal would have lived its life. Nobody would have no humans were anywhere near that thing.
Nope. It didn't know to know that humans are a danger. At least the animals around here have understood that, equated danger with humans for the most part.
Right.
They have no idea. They just think you're another animal. And
they're curious.
They're bigger than you, so they don't look at you as a threat.
Well, and yeah, why would you attack it?
Right, that's how nature works.
Right.
I am much bigger than you. You don't fuck with me.
Why would you attack me? I'm not doing anything to you. But think about that. Not only do you kill it, like it's one thing to say I kill it and I eat it. Okay, sure.
Which he ate every drop. Gross.
But you people that cut the head off, send it to the taxidermist.
Have it stuffed.
To have it stuffed so you can admire the beauty of this thing you fucking killed.
So
and you have the head on the wall.
We say that so nonchalantly, to have it stuffed. What that means is scraping out the insides, all of the biological matter that can decay, leaving the skin, which could also decay, but you treat it so that it doesn't, and then stuff it with artificial shit and eyeballs.
Fake eyeballs.
They take out the eyeballs and have to put in fake eyeballs because those would deteriorate and
really, it's still gonna deteriorate.
But
it's gonna get patchy over years and shit. It's gonna get nasty.
They do their best to preserve the skin and the hide. and stuff it with fake shit, and then staple it to a piece of wood so that you can hang it on your wall.
Hang it on your wall. So you can walk in every time you walk into the room and be like, I killed that thing.
The people that have their pets stuffed.
That's so weird.
That is so fucked up to me.
And that's coming from her.
You now had all their insides removed and disposed of. So you could keep the skin and the fur and with fake eyeballs. So you think you have Fluffy by your side still. That's
you pet it. You fucking sit there and pet it like a weirdo. Get another dog.
That's not Fluffy.
You can't have animals if you're not comfortable with them.
And didn't let Fluffy go into the ether in one tap. You fucked up.
If you have animals and you're not comfortable with the fact that you're gonna have them for less than 20 years, less than 15 years, you shouldn't have animals. They're not gonna live forever. I can't stand people that treat animals like fucking people, like they're people. Oh, it's so stupid. They're not people. They don't operate on the people wavelength like we do. If you have dogs, you have to treat them like the pack situation. You have to.
They're born far dysfunctional than we are. That's for sure.
In certain ways. No, because the reality is we should respect hierarchy. We should respect, our place. Just because you have a place and it's not at the top doesn't mean it's not valuable. It's not positive.
I'm saying with less dysfunction, like they have less prejudices.
Oh, you said more.
No.
Yeah, you said more dysfunction. The dog said more dysfunction. That's what you said. That's what I was wondering. Yeah, that's what I was responding.
They're not born with the dysfunction that we are.
You said more dysfunction. You said something about them having more. You did. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's just a mistake.
But no, they don't have the human dysfunctions that we do.
No, fuck no. And you put that shit on them.
Yep.
You make them sleep in bed with you. You.
Well, that's one thing. That's
not one thing. They need to have they're the dog. They're not a people. The people sleep on the bed. The dog sleep. The dog is there to protect you. The dog is there so if somebody gets in the house, the dog dies to save you if necessary. You do not save your dog. You do not die. You do not take yourself away from your family and all that for a dog that's going to die in less than 10 years, 15 years. That's fucking stupid. That's you're doing the wrong thing. The reality is, like, if there's a fire or something, open up a window and run the fuck out. Guess who won't die in the house? The animals. When there's a forest fire, you know what they do? They let the horses run free. And the horses almost always survive. They know where to run. They instinctively know they're fast enough, they're big enough, they can, Like, we're just stupid about that. They are animals. They are not people. We are people. We are supreme. And because of that, you treat your animal with love and respect and all that stuff. Like, they look at you. You've created a situation where they're completely dependent on you. So you have to take that seriously. But again, your dog's not going to bury you. Your cat's not going to bury you. And really, if you died in your house, your dog would protect your body. But your cats would eat you. Your cats don't give a fuck. You are the pet to your cats. Cats go for the eyes. Yeah, they're gross. I mean, at the end of the day, they lick their butts. You're trying to humanize something that licks its butt. Your dog will go eat shit outside. It will eat shit. It will, shit. Let something have died or pissed or something in the yard, and it'll fucking roll around in that shit like, oh, this is amazing. Oh, you guys smell this? Oh, I'm gonna get that smell all over me so I can bring it in the house and shit. Free Iran, yes. Free Iran, for sure. I'm all for free Iran. But, again, free Iran, I can't say free Iran to Palestine. Like I can't say free Palestine to Iran. I can't say either to the Syrians, to the Yemeni, to all the other victims of not just Israel, because Israel doesn't exist. Israel is a manufactured idea. It's a concept. Somebody tells you that this is Israel from here to here. If you're walking, you don't go, oh, I just walked into Israel. Oh, I can feel it. You only know you're in Israel because somebody tells you you're in Israel. This place is called Israel. Just like Hollywood. Hollywood was never a person. Hollywood was a conglomerate of Jews who were very racist, very sexist, very homophobic.
I remember driving in the car, Nathan, it was a couple years ago. We're driving down Inkster, and I said to Nathan, you see that yellow line right there? You cross over that line, that's Redford. This side of the line, we're in Livonia. And he's looking at me like, what? What does that even mean? Like, it was so strange to know that at the light when we turn left, we're now in Redford. We're in Livonia at this second. But as soon as we turn left, now we're in Redford. Like, it's really weird to explain that to a kid and the look on their face.
Well,
we're used to it.
It shows you how programmed you are.
Exactly. We're used to it. We don't think much about it. But as a kid, it's like, what do you mean?
But that being said, Israel doesn't exist. Israel is not the bad guy of anyone. Israel is not the enemy of anyone. Israel is a nothing. Unless you're talking about like Israel Katz, Minister of Defense or whatever he is, whatever his position is in Israel, I can't remember.
Katz. Not C-A-T-S.
No. C-A-T-Z. Or K-A-T-Z. I mean, exactly. Sorry. K-A-T-Z. You guys want to play a game?
No.
What does Y-E-S spell? Okay. What does E-Y-E-S spell? How many of you just said E-S? You're dumb. That probably would have got me if somebody did it to me. Strange as that may sound. But so the enemy is a common enemy amongst, for all of us. Whether you're free Iran, you're free Palestine, you're free any of it. You're free the United States. Free humanity is the real rally cry. And the enemy is not the invisible, the manufactured construct place. The enemy is the cult that runs all of it. Because it's the same cult that's raping our children in Hollywood. It's the same cult that is, all through the Epstein files. I keep asking, how many times does Goyim appear in the Epstein files? Has anybody been able to figure that one out yet? ChatGPT said it was 4 times. Because she was going off of what's been reported. She couldn't do a search like she could for everything else, like they can for everything else. But yes, I just snorted a line. Oh, people are so stupid. This is what happens again. Go figure. It's one of these trolls who has the fake profile. Let's see. Joined 3 years ago as 2 subscribers. One of these fake profiles that's probably a friar and doesn't like what I'm saying, so they're trying to come up with whatever they can. The reality is there's so many tentacles to this monster. And it works out that when you focus on one of the tentacles, you're right. You're doing the good thing. You know, we should all be focused on eliminating the pedophilia. We should all be focused on vaccine safety. We should all be focused on who's controlling our government. We should all be focused on the genocide. We should all be focused on who wrote our history and Tartaria and all these other things. We should be focused on those things. But these are all tentacles of the monster. And even if you can convince somebody that, yes, look, they're fucking spraying. Do you see the shit coming out of the planes? Yes, it's a thing. And they finally go, fine, they're spraying us. What's the first thing they say then? Fine, they're spraying us. Well, who is they? Every single one of these distractions, what ends up being a distraction, you know, the best distractions are the ones that ring true. That's why it works. You know, you can't distract people with a search for fucking unicorns. Nobody's gonna fall for that shit. The secret to everything is unicorn poop. So everybody just start looking for some unicorns, and if we can get some of their poop, we'll fix all the world's problems. Nobody's gonna waste their time doing that. But if you look at all of these, everything, literally everything, Hollywood, vaccines, government, history, education, you know, I mean, throw whatever you want in there. If you research, you go back, you're always gonna find, when you follow the tentacle all the way back to the source, it's the same fucking source. And you look over and hey, there's another tentacle and it's all the same thing. It's all connected to the same fucking source. So why would we sit here and waste our time trying to convince people that each tentacle exists? And then once we convince them that the tentacle exists, we have to start back over again and convince them that it's this one thing. Why don't we start with that one thing and then show how all the tentacles connect? Show that if we actually fucking cut the head off the monster, we kill all of the tentacles. Most of the time, if you cut off a tentacle, two grow back. If you can even cut it off. So why would we waste our time with that? They wear funny hats. That they do. That they do, laddie. That they do, laddie. That's who controls ye government. Sets the curriculum for ye education system. History books, banks, news, media, and military. Yep, same shit. All of those different tentacles attached to the same fucking monster. I didn't even know that saying tentacles was considered an anti-Semitic trope. Forgot some actor, some government actor, somebody in one of those positions, those power, said something about tentacles. And immediately the ADL and all these other cowards jumped all over this person and that they're anti-Semitism. So stupid. Especially since they use the word wrong. The only anti-Semitic people are the Jews. You know, trying to eliminate the Semitic people. The Palestinians are the Semitic people. The Syrians, the Iranians, the Yemeni, all of it. If you look at the greater Israel map, which is absolutely what's happening, you see that it's all Semitic people that have to be removed so that these Ukrainians, these Europeans, these Americans can colonize it. And it's ridiculous, you know. And then on the other side of that, you have anti-Semitism or Semitism, which is something that you've just been completely tricked with. You've been completely fucking, hoodwinked. Because like most of the time if somebody says that's anti-Semitism, you back off. No, wait, no, that's not what I'm saying, dude. No. Instead of going, fuck yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't believe anybody should have any sort of supreme position over anyone else. And Semitism means supremacy. Semitism means policy or predisposition favorable to the tiny hats. It's what the Webster's definition says. Let me guess. You don't believe me, right? So it's one of the only times I do this because it's just so obvious. It's so important that people understand this. So, Semitism definition into the Google machine. Merriam-Webster, because that's the old one. That's the one we trust. Merriam-Webster.com, Semitism definition.
Semitism.
See, we're on the Semitism page.
Semitism.
Number 1A, a Semitic character or qualities. Number 1B, a characteristic feature of a Semitic language occurring in another language. Number 2, policy or predisposition favorable to friars. Policy or predisposition favorable. Nobody should have policy or predisposition favorable to them. Policy is the rules and the regulations that we all live by. The AIPAC Policy Conference that's held every year is attended by more government officials than any other event in the calendar outside of the State of the Union address, which they're required to be at. More government officials on both sides attend the AIPAC Policy Conference than anything else but one thing. In 2016, both Trump and Hillary were speakers, guest speakers, given the royal treatment for the policy conference. And this policy conference, they fly them in. They stay at the best hotels. There's a shit ton of debauchery that happens. I'd be willing to bet if somebody did, those people that are good at looking things up. If you look up the crime statistics, the rape statistics, the missing people statistics, wherever city the AIPAC Policy Conference is being held in every year. You look at it for like a month before the conference, and then as the conference is happening, maybe a month afterward, just, people. I bet you those numbers climb. But both Trump and Hillary spoke at the 2016 conference before the election, and neither one talked trash about each other. What they did was pledge their allegiance to Israel, both of them. No matter who wins, we both pledge our allegiance to Israel. AIPAC Policy Conference. So when you hear policy or predisposition favorable to them, that's pretty eye-opening, right? Because predisposition is even worse. You say, wow, policy, that's like the rules and the regulations and shit. What's predisposition? Predisposition is if your mom's family all has cancer, no matter how you live your life, you have a predisposition to getting cancer. You'll probably get cancer just because you genetically inherited it. So the demand with Semitism is that policy, the rules and regulations, and predisposition, our genetic, the way that we look at any situation as soon as we find out it involves them, is going to be favorable to them. And you still think anti-Semitism is an issue? Why do you think they use it? Why do you think they don't say anti-Jewish? That's what they imply, right? That's what most of you think that anti-Semitism means. Anti-Jewish. So why don't they just say that? You know why? Because they don't care. They don't care if you believe in their shit. They'd prefer it if you didn't. Like Christians and Muslims are always trying to convert you and bring you in. Jews want you to be a Christian or a Muslim, preferably a Christian. Right? Because Christians have been tricked into thinking that the bad guys in the Bible, the people that killed Jesus, the the son, the children of Abraham and his sister Sarai, his blood sister Sarai, that the people that killed Jesus, God's only child, are God's favorite people. Like that's how you Christians have been convinced that you're second class in your own religion to a completely different religion. That's so fucking nuts. That's so fucking crazy. Like I so can't wrap my head around that one. Like I always used to say, like, if I'm going to be religious, well, I fucking might as well be Jewish if I'm going to pick one. Well, why would I pick the second tier one?
All the outbound calls off of Kaleo's cell phone are to his brother Daryl, with the exception of this one. Okay, what is this one to? TSA security line.
Policy and predisposition. So when they say, they don't say anti-Jewish because they don't care. They don't care if you believe in their shit, if you like whatever. They don't care. What they want you to be is pro policy and predisposition favorable to them. They don't care if you believe their shit's true or anything. As long as you believe they should have policy and predisposition favorable to them, that's what matters. That's why they use that phrase all the time. That's why they don't say anti-Jewish. Or you'll hear it like they'll be like these anti-Semitic and anti-Jewish attacks, or anti-Semitism and anti-Jewish attacks. They'll say it like that.
Like they're two separate things.
Right, like they're separate things because they are separate things. They have completely different meanings. It's one thing to be anti-Semitism and think, well, I don't think they should have any sort of favor. It's another thing to be anti-Jewish and think, I don't think they should be allowed to exist. Right? If you're anti-Semitism, that's just everybody, can't we all just get along kind of shit. But because it's been hijacked and they completely control how you think, well, you think I'm wrong for some reason. I literally showed you the definition. I showed you what the fuck it means. I'm not making any of this up ever. The thing about this, the thing I've learned is I don't need to make anything up. This shit is as unbelievable and fantastic and hard to fucking like it's there's no need for any sort of exaggeration or anything. At this point, it's pretty obvious they're eating babies and they're eating people, calling it jerky. Like, it's so bad. One of my primary sources is an Israel Hayom article. Sheldon Adelson's fucking, like his baby, his newspaper. Look at this. The numbers are just falling. 4 viewers, 12 likes. If you guys are watching, like, share, sub, help out. This stuff is important. This stuff is so important. And I more than anything else, I hope that you can share this with somebody who can actually disagree with me. Right? I would love to hear from somebody who can logically debunk all of these crazy fucking conspiracies I see. So I can just be like, oh, okay, everything's good. I can go to heaven when I die. Sounds good. Okay, I won't talk about anything anymore. Somebody come through and make any of the shit I talk about not seem real. I don't want to believe that they're raping their own children. Think about, it's like the one thing where you hope you're wrong. You're not, but you hope you're wrong. It's shocking. You know, like when I told you guys about, you know, that October 7th was going to happen months in advance. Months. And I said, if Israel doesn't do some sort of false flag bullshit and then use that to kick off the genocide, I'll quit making live feeds. I'll quit doing what I'm doing. If they don't do that by December of 2023, I will quit. And there is more than enough to prove that that's true. There's more than enough video proving that's true. And when October 7th happened, I had multiple people reach out like, holy fuck, how did you know that was going to... Not psychic. They literally told us it was going to happen. The only thing that was surprising is how fast they did it. I thought they'd at least wait. You know? A week after they got put into the visa waiver program, they initiated the false flag, the October 7th false flag. I mean, even the fake Guy Williams Sucks video that they made, that there's a part where it says he denies this, and it shows a bunch of different shots of the paragliders. Now, even if the paraglider thing was true, and it was there was 8. You're telling me 8 paragliders overrode the greatest military force in the region? Highest security and all that somehow? And there's multiple videos of these paragliders and again, the video's he denies that. It's, how could you not deny that shit? If you were like me, see, the thing is, most of you who give a shit about this situation, you only give a shit about this situation since this started happening. Right? You if anything, prior to this, you would have argued with me when I was trying to be like, no, you got to see this. These are the bad guys. Right? And so most of you have your information. I mean, it's all secondhand, but yours is fifth hand. You know, you didn't look like I did. And one of the things I can guarantee that none of you have done, and that you can't even really do nowadays, is that on November 7th, a month later, I went live. You can find the video in my feed. I went live and we looked up. I had a hunch. I had had the hunch before when with the Russia unprovoked invasion that Russia did on Ukraine when it all started. What you guys forget is that the convoy was the biggest story in the United States at the time. The fake bullshit convoy story that was so easy to pull apart. And one of those things where clearly they're either watching me or there was a lot of other people saying the same thing. But when I was like, hey, how are they fueling these semis? Well, then the next day you get the footage of the people walking with the fucking gas tanks. They have 2-gallon gas tanks and they're banging them together empty. Boom, boom. They're going to walk to the gas station, fill them up with diesel, and then walk to the fucking to the semis and fill them up. And it was just a joke. First of all, I would love to see, because a lot of the protesters carrying the shit were women. Were small little women. I would love to see these small women carrying full 2- and 3-gallon gas tanks, you know, marching down the street so they could go fill them up. But the semi's gas tank is so big, it would take 100 people to fill one. The whole thing was just so fake. My wife was watching one day, and I don't remember where I was, but one of them had done an interview, and she was interviewing one of the guys in the cabin, and she was like, you know, what What's the whole goal here? Because again, there was no like leader, there was no spokesperson, there was no like. So let's say they're raising money. That money then gets just raised and it's put into what fund? And then how do the people access the fund? All the different families that needed that money. How would they have done that? The whole story was just bullshit, start to finish. But my wife's watching the interview, and the reporter asked the guy what he wants most, and he's like, I just want to get home and get a shower, see my family, get all this meat off the back of the truck. It's all spoiled. And that was sort of like the end of it. And I'm sitting there going, isn't that all stolen product? Shouldn't he be arrested? All that meat that's in the back of that semi went bad? Shouldn't he be getting arrested for that? The whole thing was just, it was a convoy. It was a convoy. They put it in the name. Well, if you remember, right then was when Virginia Giuffre, I think it's Giuffre actually. I think you say it Giuffre, which is interesting. Her name doesn't look that way, but it said Giuffre. She was all, I'm pushing this. And then out of the blue, like a total surprise, she takes the 16 million pounds and disappears. Case shuts down. Andrew walks. Everything's supposed to sort of mellow out. And it was the next day that across the United States, the mask mandates were lifted. That morning, all of the different governors all over the country just woke up and were like, hey, it's a beautiful day. Let's lift the mask mandates. Right? Is that what happened? For that to happen, there would have to be coordination. For that coordination to take place, there would have to be a reason for it. What would be the reason that all of these different governors decided to lift these mandates?
They were waiting for the poll numbers to come in, and that the COVID cases were down.
Yeah, the very next day. Right. So, what happens, instead of us going quiet about it, the people are like, hey, so who pays that 16 million? The Crown does? So we pay that? And what about the tapes? What about the Epstein tapes? The tapes was the story that just wouldn't die. Because it's not the files. They've done it now. They've convinced us that the files are the most important. When to this day, if you go look at Wikipedia, it'll tell you that the CIA and the FBI found a bunch of tapes in the safes in his house, marked with the name of the guy and the name of the person that was violated, and in some cases, their age. Flash drives, DVDs, VHS tapes, they found all sorts of evidence. What happened to all that evidence? We could probably figure out who's on the list real quickly if we just looked at the goddamn tapes. And that's what the last song is about. It's like, hey, why are you guys talking about the files? It's the Epstein tapes that's the big issue. And because the tapes kept coming around, it was about a week later that suddenly Russia invades Ukraine and is going after Kiev. And they called it an unprovoked invasion. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I wonder what Russia's relationship is with Israel. And so I look it up. What relation does Russia have with Israel? Turns out, which you'll find out later on, as you keep hearing this narrative of Kiev, begging Israel for help. Have you ever heard of another country begging Israel for help with anything? I can't think of another time I ever heard anyone ask Israel for anything. Why would Ukraine and Kiev specifically, of all the 180 some countries in the world, why would they be so focused on Israel helping? Israel doesn't help anybody. Turns out Ukraine should be called Ukraine, but especially Kiev is one of the largest Jewish populations in that entire region. And for 3 weeks prior to the unprovoked invasion that nobody knew was going to happen, 3 of the largest 747 thingamajiggies, with the biggest planes that you can get, were running nonstop flights from Kiev to Israel. And anybody that, for whatever reason, there's, we're not saying something's going to happen, but just in case something were to happen, you want to just come live in Israel for free. You have the law of return. You're more than welcome. You come, you get a mansion. You want to come live in a mansion? You want to not have to pay rent? You want free health care? You want free everything? Yeah, come on. And they ran these jets nonstop from Kiev to Israel for 3 weeks. And like I say, you kept hearing about Kiev asking for help from Israel, and for some reason Israel wouldn't help. Turns out Russia controls Syrian airspace. And because Israel is trying to kill as many Iranian proxies inside Syrian airspace as possible, they need to be able to have that airspace available to them. So if they were to help Ukraine, then they would lose the ability to kill people in Syria. That's it. Like that's it. That's the reason why Israel wouldn't help Kiev, wouldn't directly help Ukraine. And it's all bullshit anyway, right? I mean, I don't know how many of you remember the stories about Putin saying that they were invading the genetic factories, the biolabs, and where they were harvesting children and shit. You remember when those stories came out?
Is Ukraine the area that was given to the Jews for their? Is that part of that area?
No,
it's not.
I don't know why Ukraine and Kiev is so. Because it's where they supposedly actually originate from.
The state of Israel. Remember, that's the true state of Israel. Remember, you read it the day before yesterday. The Jews were given an area.
Oh no, that's the Jewish Autonomous Oblast. Yeah, that's the Oblast. It's a different. No, Ukraine is. No, Ukraine is. So if like Russia's here, Ukraine's like right here.
And where's the area that they were given? China,
way
Russia,
over here.
Way over there.
Yeah.
Kiev isn't near there.
Not even a little bit. No.
So that's strange. Did they migrate first to the west part of Russia?
They say
and then
that
over to Israel.
They say that actually, like most of the Jews come from Ukraine and Kiev especially.
Oh, so then they were put to the east.
Yeah, that's where their monarchy sort of. That's where Ashkenazi. I think that's where they originate from. I think. So I had this hunch, and I'm like, whether it was Handy or it was Pulse nightclub, or like, there's a lot of these stories where after the fact, come to find out, donation pages and whatnot were made hours before, days before the actual thing happened.
Really?
Oh yeah, this has happened multiple times. So knowing that, I thought, I wonder when the Wikipedia page was made for the unprovoked Russian invasion. And so this is still back when all you had to do was click edit history, and then you could just click back until you got to the first page. For that was made the day before. And I discovered that. Nobody else talked about that. I just found that one on my own. And the thing is, like, even time, the idea that somebody is rushing to Wikipedia to create an official, narrative page for something as it's happening is just bullshit, right? It's bullshit. How can you have details and shit before details even exist? Ouch. And so knowing that that was the case, on November 7th, 2023, I did the same thing with the Israel Hamas War 2023 page. That's the dedicated page to the, the unprovoked, completely by surprise attack, right? And back then, again, this is shortly after this is when this, but you could still click edit and go all the way back. And so I went and I looked, and the first edit of the page was made. Now, I don't know if that's when the actual page is made, but I know the first edit made to the page was at 6:22 a.m., October 7th, local time, 2023. Thing is, the completely unprovoked, super surprised, nobody knew it was going to happen attack began at 6:30 a.m., October 7th. Blah, 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 blah. So the Wikipedia page was created 8 minutes before the actual event took place. And then I proceeded to read what took place over the next 3 hours worth of editing. So I read until 9:30 that day. It wasn't 3 hours worth of reading, but you could see the different edits that were made in that first 3 hours. And it was probably, 500. It was a ton of them. There were like 5 people that seemed like they were part of this group, where one would make the general statement, one would clean it all up, one would move things around, one would, it was like they each had their job to do. And you could see these 3, 4, whatever it was, people were the only ones that were making edits. And when I clicked on the edit feature, let's see if I can edit it, it said that I had to have like 60 or 100 confirmed edits already. And then I had to be, once I met that criteria, I would be put before a committee who would decide whether I could be put in front of another committee who would then decide if I could edit. There was this weird, that was what it told me, that had, you have to have this and you have to meet, and obviously I'm not going to get that. But what I read in that first 3 hours was shit that happened throughout the day. Stuff you heard, Netanyahu say a couple days later and shit. This was all getting thrown onto this page right away. One of the things they claimed was that Hamas launched 5,000 rockets in the first 20 minutes. That's 4 rockets per second for 20 minutes straight. Every second, 4 rockets are being launched. Think about, how much does 5,000 rockets cost? How did they sneak 5,000 rockets into a place where they can't even get lumber because of the Israeli embargo on the place, the blockade around it? They can't even get lumber to rebuild the houses that the Israelis destroy because the lumber could be used as a weapon. And yet somehow, not only could they afford 5,000 rockets, and even if you say, well, those are cheap rockets, you're still talking about $1 million some dollars worth. I think if it's like $300 or something, I think 300 times 5,000. Yeah, you get like 1 point something million. Somehow Hamas raised $1 million some fucking dollars. And they brought in, and again, that's saying they used the cheapest possible rockets, which, okay. But not only did they have 5,000 rockets, how many rocket launchers do you need to have to launch 5. It's not like you're launching bottle rockets. These are like rocket launchers that would have to be reloaded consistently. They would have to be hot as shit. But how many rocket launchers would you need to have set up to fire, and then have crews that are constantly fucking up, reloading these things, just slamming. I mean, think about the operation that would take. And of course, that's the only time they've ever been able to do anything even close to that. Since then, they haven't been able to. Prior to then, they haven't been able to. It was just that one time they
blew their what?
Right. They shot all of their rockets, and 99% of them were shot down by Israeli the Iron Dome, supposedly. The 1% that didn't were because the Iron Dome can scan the rockets and guess their trajectory, and if they're not going to hit anything or they're going to fall short, they would let those fall. And of course, there's no footage of it because it happened so fast. It happened so fast, nobody could be like, hey, let me get on a camera. Click. That's the narrative. What's up, Matt? What's going on, brother? Thanks for showing up. If you're watching, like, share, sub. Don't forget to like, share, sub. If this shit matters to you, like, share, sub. If I'm wrong, share this with somebody who has the balls to tell me. Because apparently nobody does. Right?
Why don't you, again, because this is all to you and not to everybody else, explain what the Iron Dome is, what it's supposed to do, and how it works.
So the Iron Dome is, so Israel has 3 levels of what they claim is missile defense. There's the Iron Dome, which is the short range. There is David's Sling, which is the mid range. And then there's the Broken Arrow, or maybe it's just Arrow. I think it's Arrow system, which is the long range. And these are to detect missiles coming in that they can then shoot down. And really, the power of the Iron Dome is not in reality. It's belief. If you believe that they have this missile deterrent system, are you going to waste your munitions on them, knowing that nothing's going to get to them? It's all going to get shot down? No. However, Iran, if you paid attention, Iran was actually proved that the Iron Dome is bullshit. Because they had a couple of their missiles get through, and when you saw what the missiles did, they did some damage to the giant mansions. If you look, those are giant fucking mansions that got hit. These super poor people, these humble people with these giant mansions and 18 kids and shit. I think your store should play TBG in the background, Matt. You should let them know that that's what they should do. But, so the claim was the 5,000 rockets. Another claim that they made was that they killed, quote, 500 or 1,500, around 1,500 Hamas agents. They almost immediately, around 1,500 Hamas were killed. That's what they say. Now, if you fast forward, I think today the number is, they claim, it was around 1,400, then it was around 1,200, then it was around 1,100. Now I think they claim it's like 1,129 people in Israel were killed. And they report it that way every single time. People in Israel were killed. Whenever it's Israelis, they would say Israelis were killed. You know, innocent, good God-fearing Israelis, you know, something like that. They never refer to themselves as people in Israel. So when the narrative is that, you know, the 1,129 people in Israel were killed, remember, they initially claimed that they killed around 1,500 Hamas right away inside Israel. So they're not necessarily lying when they say these things. They're really good at this, where they don't lie, but they're not necessarily telling the truth. You know, they're not telling the full truth. When they reported as 1,129 people in Israel died, you assume that means Israelis. It wasn't. No Israelis died, other than the ones that got sacrificed through Hannibal directive shit, but I don't even believe that. Because the Hannibal directives suggest that these people were being kidnapped, and instead of allowing them to be kidnapped, the snipers would kill them. That's what the Hannibal directive says. Before they allow an Israeli, a Jewish person, to be kidnapped, they'll do everything they can to kill them. They'll try to snipe them, shoot them in the head so they have a painless death. But they don't want the bad guy to have the bargaining tool. That's the whole thing behind the Hannibal directive. But that suggests that there was actually an attack on October 7th, which there wasn't. It was nothing. It's orchestrated bullshit. None of it's real. I challenge you to find footage that proves that an attack happened on October 7th. You'll see video of, like, there was a music festival that for some reason wasn't canceled. But a music festival where supposedly Hamas shows up and starts shooting at people. And the video will show a bunch of people running out into an open field, getting out of their cars and running out into an open field to escape the gunfire that you can kind of hear in the background. And the music's still playing. It's fucking insane. Literally, there is no footage that proves anything like what they say. And understand that not only will the government lie to us, but the people look at us like not only are we cattle, we're enemy cattle. So for them to partake in the lie is no big deal for them. I mean, they were reporting, like, as far as like war injuries, like Hamas is taking these, the Palestinians are taking these thousands and thousands of casualties. Yeah, well, there was an Israeli woman who fell down and hurt her knee while she was running to a bomb shelter during a bomb, some sirens going off, and another woman with anxiety had a panic attack. And literally, these stories are being reported in the news. I read these stories firsthand. This was their, oh yeah, we're taking losses too. This woman hurt her knee and another woman had a panic attack. You think I can find those? I don't know. Maybe. I know I saw them. I know I read them. There's probably video of me reading them. Tell me what I'm wrong about. There should have been there should have been at least 1,000 fucking funerals within the first 3 days from October 7th to October 10th, most of which, according to their shit, should have happened on the first fucking day. Outside of a handful of funerals, nothing. The only evidence that exists is the claim. Is them claiming, them providing a list of names, all of which, 90% of which have lieutenants, this, that, or the other. But that touches on a different thing. So what people didn't realize was Netanyahu was playing the long game. So Netanyahu, the ruse that was used from 2019 to 2023 or 2022 for why Israel had 6 prime ministers in that time frame was Netanyahu was under indictment, and there was a whole bunch of shitstorm coming. So, and I think maybe Netanyahu just wanted a little vacation before the real big mission started in 2023. But from 2019 to 2022, it was Netanyahu. Then it was Benny Gantz, Defense Minister Benny Gantz, or something like that. Then Benny Gantz was pulled back, and it was Netanyahu again. So now we're at 3. Then this guy, Naftali Bennett, who I've shown you 1,000 times, the guy that's on Wikipedia talking, or the guy that's on YouTube talking about how they control Wikipedia, he steps in, and he's prime minister from June of 2021 to June of 2022. He's number 4. In June of 2022, he just steps down. There's no real reason given. He just doesn't want to do it anymore. And Yair Lapid, a talking head, steps in. And Yair Lapid is the guy interviewed in Where in the World is Osama bin Laden? Morgan Spurlock. Like, Yair Lapid's been an Israeli talking head forever. He steps in, and now he's the prime minister somehow. He just steps in and takes the job somehow. And then in November of 2022, the Netanyahu coalition, Bezalel Smotrich and piece of shit Itmar Ben-Gvir, they win the election in 2022. And even Yair Lapid says, well, you know, there was some shit. There was obvious corruption in the election, but what's most important is Israel. So I'm going to step down and let this take place. I don't want to bring Israel any more unjust and any more undo this or that. And by putting Netanyahu back in charge like that, he is now the de facto dictator. He cannot be removed until he wants to be removed, until he steps down or he's killed, which hopefully it's soon. But there will be no more elections in Israel until Netanyahu says so. But one of the the main things, the reason why Naftali Bennett supposedly won, and the main difference between Naftali Bennett and Netanyahu, because they agree on everything else. Kill as many Palestinians as possible. They're special, blah, blah, blah. The one thing that separated them was Netanyahu has always believed that every Israeli at 18 has to serve in the military, has to do something, has to be attached to the military somehow. And Naftali Bennett ran under the notion that hell fuck no, that's what the fucking Goyim are for. That's what Americans are for. They're to fight the wars. We're supposed to live our lives in yeshiva and study. And you know, the pilgrimages where they turn 18 and they get that fucking government credit card and they travel the world, going all over, doing whatever they want to do, living a great life. You know, that thing. That's what Naftali Bennett supposedly, that was his position. And he won on that. And so for a year, he was the prime minister until he stepped down. And none of it really made sense until recently, when the United States government passed whatever resolution, whatever bill, whatever it was, that says that from now on, the United States will pay for any ex-Israeli military soldiers' pensions and health cares and all that. If you're an Israeli soldier, you now have the American military health plan, the retirement plan. And you go, aha, Veda, just taste the soup, but there's no spoon. Aha, what do you know from funny, you bastards? Now you see why Netanyahu insisted that all of them serve, even if it's just a year, even if it's just a you know, a fantasy, even if it's just like a fake position, as long as you served, now you have the American teat. Interestingly, from January of 2023 up until October, every Saturday, the Israeli population would protest. Now, by protest, there were food trucks, there were porta potties brought in, there were rides. It was like a festival every Saturday. And then they would show like the occasional like, oh, they made a big bonfire in the middle of the freeway. And you would see our news people talking about, look at those Israeli freedom fighters down there. Look at those Israeli freedom fighters. When it's us, it's thugs. But they were freedom fighters. And you'd see on like the hottest days, they'd drive by with the water truck and they'd spray people, but it would be like a stream. And people, you know, cool off, get wet, drink some water. They wouldn't mix it like the sewage water and shit like they spray all over the palace. No, they didn't do anything like that. And every week on Saturday, the Israelis would protest because the judicial branch and the executive branch of the government weren't getting along. And the executive branch was going to pass resolutions to limit, quote, the judicial branch's ability to scrutinize the decisions of the executive branch. Which is, that's not a, you can't limit the ability of somebody to scrutinize. You might be able to limit their ability to do something, but you can't stop people from scrutinizing you. But that was the narrative. And then the people, hundreds of thousands of Israelis are supposedly protesting, and they're so upset about that the executive branch wants to limit the judicial branch's ability to scrutinize. And the reality is, the only difference that the executive branch and the judicial branch, you know, the only fights they ever had was because the executive branch wanted to kill more Palestinians. And the judicial branch would step in and be like, we shouldn't do that right now. We're killing enough. Don't worry. It's good. That was literally the only things they ever disagreed on. And so all fucking year, there are these weekly protests. And then the resolutions that are going to get passed, they're passing in different sections. There's part 1, part 2, part 3. And every time a new part would pass, tens of thousands of Israelis, as a sign of protest, would say, hey, if there's some sort of war or something that breaks out here in the next year or so, just like coincidentally, even though we're all under reserve status, we're going to refuse to fight. Not stop killing Palestinians, not we're going to refuse to buy this, or we're going to, if there happens to be a conflict that arises, we refuse to fight if that just happens to happen. That is literally the only way they protested officially. And that's actually called desertion. If you're a reservist and you get called up here in the States and you refuse, you go to jail. That's an offense. That's a prison term. And you if you don't see the idea that as they're leading up to it, these people, their form of protest of in case this, it's fitting this narrative that they know they're going to orchestrate the fake October 7th thing, and they know what's going to happen, and they're not going to take part in it. They don't want to be at risk. This was also why I told you October 7th was going to happen, because I saw this happening. Why are they, of all things, saying, oh, well, we refuse to fight if a conflict were to, there was no conflict. There hadn't been conflict in forever, since 2006. There would have been no reason for them to assume that there was a conflict about to jump off. But that was literally the only way that they were protesting. And like I say, with the two parts that did go through, hundreds of thousands refused to fight. They signed these petitions saying, if something pops off, we refuse to fight. And they were called freedom fighters. They were called heroes. They were celebrated for that shit. We'd be arrested. They were celebrated. At the same time, in the beginning of 2023, Israel bought 42,000 slaves from Delhi, India. 42,000 supervised laborers. 38,000 earmarked for construction. 4,000, the other 4,000 earmarked for elderly care, because even the Jews don't want to take care of their own mean-ass elderly people. And you think, wait, it's not like they had this surplus of jobs. It's not like they had this booming economy where they needed to bring in all of these workers that happen to do the jobs that the Palestinians do. Why are they bringing in so many people to do the job that Palestinians already do? And it's always, I always thought it was weird. Like Palestinians and Israelis, they're identical. You couldn't tell them apart other than their dress and shit. The actual Israelis that have been there forever, there's a few. 95% of the Jews tested don't have Semitic blood. So 5% do. Fucking nuts, man. It's fucking nuts. Sorry.
Okay, so I pulled Jennifer Rafferty's case file from the open unsolved. Murdered in June of 1980. Her husband was a prime suspect. There was a history of abuse, but eventually he was cleared.
Does it look like a gun?
The injuries are consistent with her other victims. However, there was blunt force trauma post-mortem. Also, there's no...
Alright. Sucks. It's always good to make money. Oops. have to go to 7-Eleven.
I love you. I gotta try calling Marvin. Yeah, no. It's yeah, his birthday today, so he can maybe he can wish for it or just think about it. Whatever. Alright, bye. Why don't you have pickleball with you? Oh, you're at that.
Yeah, not necessary.
I'm sure it'll be okay to drive it to some.
It's okay to walk to 7-Eleven too.
So if I like this car, but I love this other car, I can change the terms of the monthly payment for me.
It's probably a better idea. Ugh. I'll pay for it, but it's a nice walk. Okay, I'll be back. What did you do? Why'd you lock it? You did. Can't let a thing like busted car, busted leg, busted toe, busted wrist stop you from making the money when your shit's all busted. Anyway. Put that out for me. I got to get stuck. Probably drink. So, October 7th, false flag. Did the comments get shut off, or are you guys just quiet today? Seems weird. Talked about it yesterday, I believe. How it had been a while since the comment section got shut off. And now look. Maybe that's the case, I don't know. There are times when it helps to be a gross guy. This is weird. All right. 15 likes, appreciate it. Whoever just threw the like on. If you're watching, appreciate it. You know, again, I always say this shit. Like, if I'm wrong about something, by all means, tell me. I'd love to know what I'm wrong about. The thing is, like I say, you guys, most of you have been following this since October 7th, and you missed out a lot. You know, they did the you know, the protests of not signing those pledges to not fight, and then they got put into the visa waiver program on September 30th. Now the visa waiver program is supposed to be like a two-way street, right? We're gonna let your people travel to the United States without a visa. You know, they'll have that same freedom, like they'll have that freedom to be able to. There's a few different places where they're in the visa waiver program, places like Puerto Rico and shit like that. But there's a few of them. But again, it's contingent on you showing the same respect that you're demanding. You know, you have to provide safe travel for all Americans, including Palestinians, if they go to Israel. And that was the trade-off. And the Israelis were basically, like, not even basically, they were just like, no, we're never going to do that. You know? We're never going to treat Palestinians what you would consider fairly. And that was okay, right? They got put into the program anyway with like this weird, okay, well, you haven't done it, but you're gonna do it. So as long as you fix this problem by what worked out to be, I can't remember if it was the beginning day of Passover or the last day of Passover. It was one of the two. But Passover the following year, as long as you fix the problem by Passover, you know, it'll. I mean, it's not like they were going to kick them out of the visa waiver program. They were already in it, so they had no incentive to actually maintain or fulfill their promise. They were already in it. There was no threat. And so they're put into the visa waiver program on September 30th. And 7 days later, 8 days, I don't know. September is only a 30-day month. 8 days later, they attack themselves. See, this goes back to the Iron Dome. So the Iron Dome actually, it's not real. The most important part of the Iron Dome is belief. If you believe it exists, then it exists. And so what Israel has done over the last decade is they manufacture these attacks where they agree, you know, how does the Palestinians have access to the weaponry? They don't. They're under complete blockade. Every night there are raids, illegal raids, that go into houses and kidnap people and kill them and shit. Like, Israel was in total control. So what they would do is, you know, have some of their rocket launchers set up, and they would shoot these rockets into the agreed upon coordinates. And when you put them into the agreed upon coordinates, they're easy to shoot down. And that's literally what they would do, is they would shoot it down because they knew where it was going to be. And you know, who the fuck puts this there? What an asshole. Look, somebody's car hit that shit. Yeah, I'm that guy. Somebody probably thought that was snow. Mary! Oh, it's so good to see you. haven't seen you in forever.
I'm gonna die.
And so it was, you know, after you include the buying of the slaves, the 42,000 Indian slaves to replace the workforce in early 2023. You look at the fake protests for the stupidest reason. The government's not getting along, so the people are protesting. Fucking stupid. And then you look at how their protest is to not fight. If there's some random conflict that just happens to arise, they're not going to fight. It's such obvious bullshit. And then, of course, combine it with the visa waiver program, and a whole bunch of other shit. There's a whole bunch of other shit that you can throw in there. These are just the main pieces as far as I can even remember. You know, there are other things that happened, other obvious examples of absolute fuckery that only exist with them. And it's, you know, the idea that a genocide is taking place. Like, let's just say it was true. And Hamas, had killed 1,129 people. Does 600,000 does that work out to be justification? Does that work out to be even? I don't think so. Good, how are you? Good. 40? Yep, brand new. Perfect. No problem, man. Have a good one. Yep, talk to you soon. I have tons of stuff posted, so check it out. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Oh. You don't have to rate me because I don't need the government knowing that I'm selling anything, you know? So thanks, man. Yep. I don't do the rating thing. I'm sure that might hinder my business, but the government will send you a 1090 if you sell too much of your own shit. You know how fucking insane that is? I've already paid taxes on the money like 3 times. You pay taxes on the money when you get it. You know, your work, they take taxes out of your money right off the bat. Then you put it in a bank and they take whatever they need to from you. Or when you get it cashed or whatever it is. Then every time you buy something, you pay taxes on it. So you're paying it again and again. And now I'm supposed to, instead of throwing it out, because I could just throw it out and create more trash. Instead, I'm going to sell it to somebody else who might get some use out of it. Well, the government should get a piece of that. Yeah, it's like $400 or $600 or something like that. It's nuts. And who do you think that is? Who do you think that's designed to help or hurt? I mean, seriously, it's all right there.
I'm sorry, but your son,
There's a reason why I can do this unmolested. You know? I mean, obviously they try with their stupidity, but it never actually happens. I should not have the package out. I know they got dogs, but what's up with them? I hate when I see packages out. Steal shit. Got a lot of cars there. They should be home.
Or would you be like Miss McCarthy, the hero who decided
Yeah.
jumped online,
I don't want to bring up anybody's shit.
the minds in and out of college. She found a college to make her
if you're finding that your life is compromised by your family, And I don't mean your family. Your family is your responsibility. You have to do whatever you can to protect your family. And your family is the family you create. But the family that you happen to be born into, you have no loyalty to. The only way you have loyalty is if you're given loyalty. If you're not given the same respect, love, loyalty that you give, that's not a good relationship. And you think about it like if that person wasn't attached to me by title, would I still put up with their shit? Would I still, allow myself to be treated this way? And if the answer is no, well, then don't let people do that to you because they're your family. It sucks. It does. When you're not attached to your family, it's weird. And there are days when it sucks. But I don't know, like I see my wife and her family, and I'm always surprised by, like, there are some members of the family that are really cool. And actually, that's my father-in-law, who isn't necessarily, he's the stepdad and whatnot, so it's even more incredible what he does. But most of the other family, all the other family, they do things that, like, they're not like trying to like reach out and help and work together, and they're there when they need. And you see that so often with people. They're there when they need. And I don't know. I remember I always tell you about the sidewalks. Here it is, 2021. Wow, it was 2021 when they did that? I thought it was earlier than that. I'm supposed to be different.
I now have the Kong. The board is right here. The flies are like Kong. The back and forth steers. Cheech against Chong. Weed versus beer. We'll reach the new dawn. We all wish we could cheer. Once the 1%'s gone, what's wrong disappears.
1% gone disappears. Man, it'll be a much longer day now. Cold. So
I'm done having arguments when you know only lies, like talking of apartments when they're set up side by side. When you just close your eyes, refuse to be corrected. It's like you're sitting on a ride where everyone's ejected. How do you just object it when the facts are all sustained by grams of sharp detectives stacked up to explain why every single plane remains a great big mystery? The goal's not seeking fame, but to shame the pig's fake history. Painted so vividly by such a machine. Shakespeare's monkeys wrote God Save the Queen. The obvious scheme controlling the goy devours the dream like clergy do boys. It's urgent the coy realize our dirty ponds. Detergent is joy. Happiness bonds. The atoms and the bombs our knowledge should drop. Rejecting the con, a true pro doesn't stop.
Ooh. Oh man. Mary, you should have been here these last couple days. We've had people that identify as actual rabbis coming through and literally proving every point possible. It's shocking how stupid they are. Like, that's the only thing that's really shocking is just how incredibly stupid they are. Oy. There we go. That weren't so bad. Yeah. Nothing.
Oh, there's
I miss this so much. I suck up rabbis. Huh? Oh yeah, cool. I don't need the pit. Can you pull that, please? Thank you. You like them? Oh.
trying not to drape it on the dog. I figured you didn't want it on the dog.
I don't care about the dog. You think my whole shit doesn't smell like the dog all the time? And I don't want the avocado peels. Yeah, avocados are no-nos. Well, yeah, leave them. Okay, they might be good. Can't imagine there's nothing good in them. Making the garden mix, the compost juice. So around this time, get your big mason jars. You put all your banana peels and your fruit stuffs, and like it's funny. You're basically making like jail wine if you were to put extra sugar and some yeast in there, but because you don't put that in there, it just makes a really powerful natural fertilizer. At least I think. I don't know. Seems like it makes sense. All the nutrients wasted when we throw away peels and shit, especially the ones we can't digest. Or should I say digest? Oh. God, I hate being old and broken. Oh.
Please help me.
Please help me.
I'm melting, selling my soul one roll at a time. I swallow my spine at the slightest mention,
Ooh, that's
claiming
for
my
you?
intentions pulls too strong. I'm wrong. Same
I'm
song,
sure I'm just
dancing
Scottish.
around the truth. A spoof of myself, my wealth's a belt, slapping welts across my
You're kind of crazy.
A 6-foot summit, I plummet screaming. Help me please, my knees are wrong. I felt the breeze release my
Great sex will do that to you. Brown chicken, brown cow. At least that's what I hear. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I think I remember it. Like, it's like, remember how like you've seen a movie a long time ago and you're like, who was that actor?
I'm picking out stems and losing weight. My gait is broken. I've lost my stride. The state I've chosen cost me my hide. My pride collides with tides of can't. My reins, my teeth.
You know, again, I'd love to hear from somebody that's an October 7th expert who can tell me which parts I'm getting wrong. Did I have tea today? I don't think I did. Oh, your shit. Oh, Jesus, I'm so sorry. I'm not putting any extra water in there. Go fuck yourself. I could have sworn I had tea today. Nope, that's still full, like I never turned it on.
My character shifty, I'm Ipsy, and your mercy's my rival. You swim in denial. Meanwhile, don't help me leave my greed, my all.
Oh. Oh.
Your shell is weak, I'll see it.
Oh, boy.
Don't help me leave. I'm evil.
You know, it's funny how yesterday the rabbis that were here were telling me that I was saying slanderous things and defamation and, you know, refusing to address what I'm saying. And then crying about, well, you don't have any evidence. Wah, wah. You know how they are. And I was like, oh, what's this? What is this?
You want me to cut your apple?
Oh, I do.
Cut your apple and banana?
No, I'm good. Are the apple or are the bananas better? I know. Can you taste the difference? Let me have a little slice.
You can't really taste the difference.
No, I don't taste the difference at all. I was expecting it to be.
No, you just be happy that you're not eating extra chemicals.
Chemicals, schmemicals. I don't think the chemicals. I think they pale in comparison to the frequencies we're hit with every day.
Bombarded with so much free radicals.
Walking around with these radioactive fucking, these phones that are attached to us, that are glued to us. They say people that have their phones in their like one pocket at all times, get, like cancers in their leg and shit, but there's no connection. And what's the difference between, like, is it producing more radiation now that I'm live, or is it more radiation?
Using your Bluetooth, people. You're frying your brain.
That shit's crazy to me. If you use earbuds, the left one connects to the phone, and the right one connects to the left one. Think about that. It doesn't go around your head. It's literally shooting the signal through your fucking brain. That can't be good.
Because, headphones just don't look cool anymore.
Right.
And I have to actually have a string from the headphone to the thing in my hand.
I wonder if there's even a cord in this one. I wonder if it's just an illusion. No, I mean, if there's a cord connecting the right and left one, or does it still do Bluetooth to both?
I know, those are Bluetooth.
I know it's Bluetooth to connect, but is there a cord connecting the left to the right through the top, you think?
No. If it's Bluetooth, it's all Bluetooth. They're not putting two technologies in there.
It's not Bluetooth, that's for sure. I wonder why they call it Bluetooth.
Turns your teeth blue over time?
I mean, is there... What's the reason? Oh, shit. Pull this back up. You know what time it is. Waka Flocka Flame. Waka Flocka Flame. That's what his rap star name is. Waka Flocka Flame. I take him seriously. I don't know about y'all, but Waka Flocka Flame. I got my Waka Flocka Flame and it's showing.
The less cool Corey
Bluetooth. Bluetooth. Bluetooth is a short-range wireless technology standard that is used for exchanging data between fixed and mobile devices over short distances and building personal area networks, PANs. Personal area networks? What's a personal area network? Let's see. What's a personal area network? I mean, you guys know this is going to be fucked up, right? You know this is going to be fucked up before I get started, right? Is a computer network for interconnecting electronic devices within an individual person's workspace. A PAN provides data transmissions among devices such as computers, smartphones, tablets, and personal digital assistants. PANs can be used for communication among the personal devices themselves or for connecting to a higher level network and the internet, where one master device takes up the role as a gateway. I don't see how that could ever be corrupted.
For little girls with hair and curls to serve their bowl of goodness.
There's no way. I mean, it's just your personal network. They can't attach into your personal network. It just attaches all of your devices. Then you would think each device being attached would allow for another breach of some sort. But it doesn't. The people that provide you the network, they can't just tap into the network whenever they want to. What are you, gay? In the most widely used mode, transmission power is limited to 2.5 milliwatts, giving it a very short range of up to 10 meters, 33 feet. Oh, that's pretty funny.
Way before me focus on pigment. Innocent. Remember that feeling? Now imagine you're bent over.
Here, go. What the fuck is he laughing about? What are you talking? What's so funny about that? And then there's the other ones that go, oh my god, right there, easily, right there. What are we? 2 sentences in. It's the second sentence. In the second sentence, we're getting our 33 drop. Breaching your biofield. Shh. What are you doing, Mary? Shh. Shut up. Why are girls always so stupid? Breaching your biofield.
Tomorrow's Wednesday. Mary, you get your package tomorrow.
It employs UHF radio waves in the ISM bands from 2.402 gigahertz to 2.48 gigahertz. Whoa. How many of us know what we're hearing and go, oh, okay, that sounds, yeah. How many people actually know? If I dropped you in the woods, how long before you'd build me a Bluetooth? Here's a hammer. Here's some nails. Build me a Bluetooth. So you smack him in the face with the hammer. Boom! Might be purple now, bitch.
They'll turn purple before it turns green.
It is mainly used as an alternative to wired connections to exchange files between nearby portable devices and connect cell phones and music players with wireless headphones, wireless speakers, hi-fi systems, car audio, and wireless transmission between TVs and soundbars. That's it. It's harmless. Introduced in May of 1998. Did you know that? May of 98? And it says introduced on May 7th, 1998. So introduced means given to the Goyim. They been had that shit. They been had that. So Mary, I have no idea what you're trying to say. Because you, my friend, are earning all sorts of badges today. Yay, Mary's getting badges today. Go, Mary. Go, Mary. It's your birthday sometime soon, right? Go, Mary. Oh, T. I got it. Compatible hardware, smartphones, personal computers, gaming consoles, all you love. Physical range, typically, it's less than 10 meters or 33 feet. Up to 100 meters or 330 feet. Wow, I wonder what the difference is. How do you get the big boy shit? Mary, it says you said 98, question mark, question mark, question mark. But that's the translation. So what did you actually say? Did you want something? Not you. But that's mine. It's a boy. 1998. That's when Bluetooth was introduced. Oh. Reggie, it says you said 1998, but again, you get a translation. For those that don't know, so my page, I was the first person I saw that got them. I'm sure they happen now, but whenever you say something and it doesn't like it per se. while government shills fight Neo at night. There's old people in our tea. Oh yeah, I'm in and out. I heard you ask what the 98 was for, trying to help. Oh, appreciate it. But I don't know what you did. You just type 1998 because it gave you a translation thing. Anyway, Bluetooth is managed by the Bluetooth Special Interest Group, or SIG. We'll have to look into that. Which has more than 35,000 member companies in the area of telecommunications, computing, networking, and consumer electronics. The IEEE standardized Bluetooth as IEEE 802.15.1, but no longer maintains the standard. The Bluetooth SIG oversees the development of the specification, manages the qualification program, and protects the trademarks. A manufacturer must meet Bluetooth SIG standards to market it as a Bluetooth device. A network of patents applies to the technology, which is licensed to individual qualifying devices. As of 2021, 4.7 billion Bluetooth integrated circuit chips are shaped annually. Bluetooth was first demonstrated in space in 2024. An early test envisioned to enhance LOT capabilities. They make 4.7 billion chips per year. How? I mean, seriously, think about that. What's 4.7 billion? Calculator. 4 billion 7. That's 4,700,000,000 divided by 365 equals 12 million chips per day. Basically 13 million. 812,712.328767. How crazy is that? What technology does that? I mean, what resources does that require? And is this being? These are being made by machines, and these are these microscopic. These chips that are in the phones and shit that are so advanced. Now, have you seen the videos? I know it's an AI video where you look, but there are videos where you look in on them and you see just like, what the fuck is going on? Come set your shit up. I don't know how much sugar you want. I think this is the short version. I don't like this one.
You are the perfect drug.
As much.
Drug. The perfect drug. You are the perfect drug. The perfect drug. You make me hard when
Here, I got you. This is yours. I already put the sugar in. I don't think you'll need more, but no, there wasn't a lot.
without you, everything just falls apart. My blood just wants to say hello to you. My
Can I have some?
fear is
Oh, I thought you already poured yours.
inside of you.
Didn't you just mix yours?
Mix the sugar.
Oh, okay. What's the matter?
Must be hurting him. You know, dogs only make noise if you hurt them.
You can do that and pour cream and stir tea at the same time.
Hurt the dog?
Yeah.
I'm kicking him.
Pretty fucking talented. Hey, Pickle.
Why is he shaking his tail if he's hurting so much?
Without you, everything falls apart. Without you,
It's not as much fun to pick up the pieces.
it's not as much fun to pick up the pieces with you.
It's not as good.
Take me with you.
Needs the laugh. The laugh cry.
Take me with you.
So Bluetooth company produces 12 million chips per day. And 13 million chips per day. I mean, just think about all of the resources that have to go into that. And are these aren't, you know, these aren't infinite resources, are they? And isn't cell phone chip technology some rare mineral that comes out of the fucking African ground and Greenland ground and shit? No, this is the wrong one. I don't even know my own song. All right. History. So this is the Ericsson Bluetooth module PBA31/2S R2A, manufactured in week 22 of 2001. And that's under some sort of microscope, I guess. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to think about that, man. Like, what's going on there? The development of the short-link radio technology, later named Bluetooth, was initiated by Niels Rydbeck, CTO of Ericsson Mobile in Lund, Sweden. Oh, go figure.
It's not as much fun to pick up the pieces.
Innovation, and it's not a fryer.
Take me away.
Some dumb goy invented it, I guess. The purpose was to develop wireless handsets according to two inventions by Jona Ullman, issued June 12th, 1989, and blah blah, issued July 24th, 1992. Niels Rydbeck tasked Tord Wingren with specifying and Dutchman Jaap Hartsen and Sven Mathiasen with developing. Both were working for Ericsson in Lund. Principal design and development began in 1994, and by 1997 the team had a workable solution. From 1997, Orion Johansson became the project leader and propelled the technology and standardization. In 1997, Adilio Sanchez, then head of IBM ThinkPad product R&D, approached Niels Rydbeck about collaboration on integrating a mobile phone into a ThinkPad notebook. The two assigned engineers from Ericsson and IBM studied the idea. The conclusion was that the power consumption on cell phone technology at the time was too high to allow viable integration into a notebook and still achieve adequate battery life. Instead, the two companies agreed to integrate Ericsson's short-link technology on both a ThinkPad notebook and an Ericsson phone to accomplish the goal. No. If you're watching this and this is interesting at all, don't forget to like, share, and sub, guys. You know, still definitely need help. Our car is broken down right now and we can't afford to fix it. So anybody wants to help with that, we definitely appreciate it. Anyone other than Mary. I don't want Mary's help. I want Mary to spend her money on her kids.
Mary's having an emergency situation with her mama right now.
Exactly.
Like Mary said to
So
Joseph, I swear my life.
Swear my lies are true.
help and energy and prayers and whatever you can to send her away to.
Kinda slick. It's not Hebrew.
I know you do, but you do already, so don't worry about it. Your words are more help than you realize on those days when they are needed. So you're very valuable to the operation, and we appreciate you. You will be promoted as soon as we can afford to.
Kind words have meant a lot the last few days.
I caught Angela actually jerking off to him the other day.
Shut up.
She was like, oh, and I came in, and I was like, what the hell are you doing? She was like, oh, it's not what you think. I was reading Mary's message, and it just touched me so much.
Oh my god.
The car just, we don't know.
No girls, he's taken.
Yeah, baby.
You can't have him.
The car just, I don't know, needs to be looked at. And it'll be something fucking stupid expensive. And being poor sucks.
How was this? What did they say? 13% across the board?
Sure it's not 33%? 33%. Oh. 13 is another one of those numbers, though. It's just not as... 13 is just not as 33 as 33. No, I'm not. There are Masonic... I mean, you can, and you can feel... you can be made to feel foolish about it. Or you can look into shit and realize, like, that's what they do. As much as it might seem foolish to us, and maybe that's why they do it, so that it does seem foolish, so that it feeds into the skepticism. But they do all kinds of shit like that because I think they think it's funny. I mean, it's the same people that walk by and spit on people. You have to have a different mentality, and one of the biggest issues one of the biggest things that holds us back is the fact that we keep trying to put our mentality on what's happening. And it's just not that way. They're just not built like we are. The insecurity it takes to be like, I'm chosen by God, especially when you're just this, like, gross little troll who, is where you are because of what you are. Like Ariel Hawani, other than being little, that dude is like the least talented fucking... I can't understand at all why anyone would want to watch him other than, the Ben Shapiro effect.
Not so important.
Yeah, sure, Mary. You do it on purpose. You did it. You fucking did it. It's your fault.
What's her fault?
Our car.
Oh, yeah.
When I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie.
Totally your fault, man. I saw you come over here from Florida, walk your ass from Florida to Michigan, and lift the hood up and mess with some shit, and then walk back home in time to make guys live. You could do that.
She hasn't been on the live in like 3 days.
No, she was there yesterday, wasn't she?
No, she wasn't.
Uh-oh. You did do it.
I'm telling you. I see conspiracy theories in everything, right? I don't look at things logically. I 23 it. I connect dots that aren't there. So, yep. Mary wasn't here. Car broke down. Mary's fault.
Totally.
That's how that works. Well, this is really a boring story. It's one of these stories that's just boring and it doesn't actually tell you how they did anything. It's telling you, like, this guy was in charge of this, and this guy was in charge of that. And we just connected this. Since neither I or anything but notebooks, no errors and phones, or the market share. Like, again, how did they come up with it? The first Bluetooth device was revealed in 1999. See, I mean, there's no history here. There's no... How did you guys get to this position? It's so interesting. It has been 33 days and 33 hours and 33 minutes, and just when you said that, it was 33 seconds. It actually was 33 seconds when that was said. It was 3 hours and 33 seconds. That's pretty funny. Oh, man. Oh. Look, I don't know. Like, I haven't done it in a while, but today I broke down October 7th in a way that I would love to hear somebody contradict anything I'm saying. Just like yesterday with the rabbis. Like I said, the rabbis were here saying that I'm just slandering and all that. So I was like, fine, you know what? Fuck it. Let's read Israel Hayom, Bottom of Darkness. You tell me what part of what I'm reading is untrue, is slanderous, is, Goyim slop, whatever you want to call it. You tell me how I'm supposed to make this work. And as soon as I started reading it and asking questions, they just disappeared. They evaporated. It's what they do. Anytime you try to, you try to confront them or question them or challenge them, they evaporate. I like my new word.
I wasn't gonna touch it.
Why not?
Because it breaks my head to think about it.
It's evaporating.
No.
It's fucking perfect.
No.
At least I didn't say he back. See, it won't work if you say it the other way. So it's evaporating. It's like Semitism. It's a word that applies to them. Why? Oh, it works.
Don't dethaw something, would you?
I need to go dethaw it. Or, no, I'm gonna unthaw it, stupid.
It's easily proved my truth's universal. That's why the reversal of fortune is nigh. No exports from
Yeah.
no sly lucky charm.
The gig is up.
My farm, my barn, my roost.
Yeah.
17 fruits, shoots start here. A
I'm
tumultuous,
frustrated, alright?
clearly necessary.
It's really frustrating.
Less than barely a chance I will fail. I hope 17's wary.
I'm gonna get in my limo. And I'm gonna go make me a tortilla. Word of the year, I think, actually. I think evaporated is the word of the year. It's beautiful, actually. It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful. It's beautiful.
But thank you for everything you have done. Without the seeds planted in 2016, 2017 wouldn't grow into the
Evaporation. Evaporation. Every time you're confronted, you evaporate. Evaporation.
Oh my god. Seriously, you give me the eye twitches.
Well, I'm writing it down.
So is it trying to be cold or is it trying to be warm today?
I don't know. I think the snow is trying to evaporate.
I saw a rainbow door, and now it's painted on.
Making an 80s song.
No colors anymore.
Nobody wants the 80s back.
Everybody wants the 80s back.
They don't.
Who is helping him find these kids? Who? Epstein?
Life Touch
Now that the
Studios.
show is over,
Everything. It's everything. Haven't you seen it yet?
The fucking company that does everybody's school pictures.
Look. Yeah, that's a big one.
That's huge. It provided all of those monsters menus. They would just send binders of class photos. And they would go through and pick who they wanted.
But this is like...
Our babies.
This is the way I think about the cult. Because the reality is, if you were a part of Hollyweird at this point, it's so fucking obvious that you knew and you didn't say anything. So because you haven't said anything, you're to blame just as much. And yes, you might have been scared, yes, whatever. I'm sorry.
Think of how those babies fucking feel once they're chosen and taken. Fuck you, I don't care if you're scared. It pales in comparison to what terror those babies underwent. So fuck you and your sassy little feelings.
So,
Babies. Trump thinks that we just need to get over. We need to move on. We just need to move on.
approximately
Stuff. It's old news.
Approximately 350,000 to over 460,000 children are reported missing in the U.S. annually. While these figures often include custodial disputes and runaways, the vast majority, over 99%, are found alive. Most cases are resolved quickly, though hundreds of thousands of children remain vulnerable to exploitation. See, the thing is, so this goes back to the Franklin thing. This is such a big piece of this that I don't think, I don't know of anybody else really delving into this, but they should be. Because the Franklin thing, thanks to former FBI chief Ted Gunderson, who was still an FBI agent while he was doing the other part. Like,
You're supposed to relinquish your, pause from your position.
No. If you think that the FBI allowed one of their top agents, their chiefs, to go rogue and start telling secrets, you're fucking stupid. He would have killed himself. He would have shot himself in the head twice. Like, this is the part where you have to put your big boy pants on. And you have to say, I am not just going to listen to this because it's an alternative to what exists and he has a fucking position. That's the biggest problem. You're actually the most vulnerable when you first see the shit. Because you're a human. You're look, it's Casey. You're a human. You're designed to want to be in a group, to be accepted, we're universal, we're social creatures. So the idea of of being ostracized or being alone is scary. And so when you go from being someone who's like, yeah, I believed what I was supposed to believe. I voted. I got my shot. You were a part of everything. You believed you probably attacked people like me in groups. Oh, you people are so bad. Rah. And now that you've come to this position, you know personally what people will do to you if you speak out, because you did it. And you are going to be so desperate to find that connection, that safety, that protection that comes from the group, that, Alex Jones is going to appeal to you. Alex Jones says some of the things you agree with. Fucking dumbass Todd says some of the things you agree with. And you'll be watching it going, man, this is cringy. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, but there, he said something I like. I mean, Todd used to take advantage of the fact that people were so lonely by telling every single person that came on his feed he loved them. Hey, thanks for being here. I love you, man. How do you know that person's not a fucking pedophile, you weirdo? How can you be that desperate for attention that's what you'll do? You'll put a toilet on your head. Did fucking Todd invent Skibbity Toilet? Holy shit.
No.
I don't know. He actually did it. He had the toilet seat on his head.
Yeah.
So people pay attention.
He was not that ingenious. Sorry, he saw Skibbity.
No, I don't think
somewhere.
I don't think he was genius. I think he accidentally did it. And somebody saw him and said, look at that piece of shit in a toilet bowl. And it just sort of triggered. But Ted Gunderson, being the company man that he was, I bet if we went back to that time, especially with the breaking of the Franklin story, I bet you people were like, hey, what the fuck's going on here? Like, what was U.S. Israeli, what was Jew stuff going on in 1988, 1989? Was there some sort of major something happening? Let's see here.
Ooh, Bible pink, color pink by number. Oh, I gotta get this. You can paint Jesus in different settings.
Oh, yeah, so in 1988, Israel was profoundly shaped by the ongoing First Intifada, which began in late 1987, witnessing intense Palestinian protests and international scrutiny over its military response. What do you think the chances are that I just did that? I mean, at this point, you're like, it's fucking nuts. 100% it's going to happen every time. But let's say you were, a denier. What are the chances that I said, I wonder if there was something going on in 1988 that they were going to have to distract us from by 1990? Here you go. Well, there you go. Indeed. So you had sorry, hang on a second. 1989, Israel was heavily focused on suppressing the escalating First Intifada in the West Bank and Gaza. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Uprising in 10 June. 8,000 Palestinians had been arrested and many held without charge. In August, Israel doubled the maximum term of the administrative detention to 1 year. Let's see if there's something for 1990. Let's just see. Belch. In 1990, Israel experienced a turbulent year defined by the height of the First Intifada, the dirty trick political crisis, and a massive influx of Soviet Jewish immigrants. Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir formed a right-wing government in June. Key events included the violent October 8th. Wow, October 8th. Oh, come on, guys. It's not even difficult anymore. October 8th. Violent October 8th. Temple Mount clashes. Iraqi threats from Saddam Hussein, and the start of a wave of immigration that brought roughly 200,000 Soviet Jews that year. Following the collapse of the National Unity government in March, known as the Dirty Trick, Likud's Yitzhak Shamir, Likud, that's Netanyahu's party, established a new right-wing coalition in June. The First Intifada continued, marked by the violent incidents like the October 8th Temple Mount killings. 17 Palestinians were killed. I bet they wish they could go back to those kind of numbers, huh?
Yeah.
And a failed Palestinian seaborne attack on May 30th near Tel Aviv. 1990 marked the beginning of a massive wave of immigration from the Soviet Union, with approximately 200,000 arriving that year alone, severely testing national resources. Oh yeah, I bet. It's a good thing they got the memorandum of understanding from us, huh? Iraq threatened to burn half of Israel with chemical weapons in the spring, leading to heightened security fears. Diplomatic relations were renewed within the European Union, the Eastern European nations, including Czechoslovakia and Poland. The year set the stage for the 1991 Gulf War, with Israel beginning to distribute gas masks to citizens in October of 1990. Huh. Strangely enough, the Gulf War. Wait. Gulf War. The Gulf War was August 2nd, 1990. Goddamn. I thought it was August 20th. It's August 2nd, 1990. That's when it began. So think about this. Go ahead, tell me how I'm wrong. You have the Franklin thing that is exposing and goes all the way up to George W. The president and the vice president were involved in this. And once it got to them is when this shit really hit the fan and it started to get silent. You have former FBI chief Ted Gunderson trying to talk about it, but he's also creating something called the satanic panic. And if you were alive back then, my wife can attest to it, all of a sudden everybody, like, we thought that there were Satanists everywhere. I thought by the time I grew up, I would know at least 10 Satanists, right? Just like you thought there would be skinheads everywhere. Just like you thought, you know, these things that you as a kid, you were shown this imagery of, but I don't know any skinheads. I don't know any Satanists. Never have. Only skinheads I knew were, again, in Northville, where it was a bunch of rich kids. And they were fucking rich kids. Just angry rich kids. I'm a skinhead. Funny, Biggins wanted to be a sharp, a skinhead against racial prejudice. Remember the Sharps?
No.
Yep, me too. The satanic panic and the skinheads. Exactly. It was everywhere. I remember thinking, like, you know, the big thing was in the Northville tunnels. Remember, there was you find satanic murals all over if you went down there. That's what you would hear.
Yeah.
You'd hear about they were sacrificing deer and.
We saw a lot of symbols down there.
Yeah, of course. But that's once white kids, you know, thought it was funny to do it. But they created that. And basically everything that got associated with satanic panic was the Jewish stuff. But they instead of us focusing on them, the Israel stuff, all that, people were going, oh, it's satanic panic. So, the Franklin story is, I don't remember actually hearing about it. I was a kid though, so I can assume that's why. But it would have been a big story regardless. This guy was, you know, this was the Epstein of its day. And so the lead guy, the lead pilot, his name was Gary Caradoni. Not pilot, the lead investigator into the case had been contacted by somebody in Chicago. He was in Nebraska. He'd been contacted by somebody in Chicago, and mind you, Lawrence A. King, the guy at the center of this black man actually, who was the president of the bank, and basically was the link between black people and getting loans in that region. So you have to know there's some weird connections there. He actually went to the University of Nebraska. Guess who else went to the University of Nebraska? Ted Gunderson. Ted graduated in 1950. Lawrence A. King, graduated in 1970. Ted was immediately plucked from University of Nebraska to be in the FBI. You think the University of Nebraska is an FBI hotspot? Like how the school where Charlie was kirked, that happens to be a school that's associated with CIA up the wazoo? Isn't that strange? Those weird coincidences? Gets better, right? Gary Cardone apparently goes up to Chicago, gets a briefcase full of pictures. These pictures show Lawrence A. King, along with many other members of high society, in compromising positions with children and whatnot. He's flying home because he took his kid, when he went up to get the pictures, he took his kid because the baseball All-Star game was that night. So he fed two birds with one seed. Goodness gracious. I know, I saw that. They're flying home at 2 a.m, and their plane just disintegrates mid-air. Falls to the ground. Over a 3/4 mile stretch. And it catches on fire. Kind of sounds like a missile hit it, but what do I know? It crashed somewhere around 2:30 in the morning, but wasn't found until around 6:30 a.m. A high-ranking government official who happens to be the lead investigator on a high-profile case goes down in a plane crash in Illinois. It's not like it's in water or something. It's Illinois farm country. And he's not found for another 4 hours? Doesn't that seem weird? So, of course, crashes in Illinois. They bring in Iowa's top medical investigator because, right, that makes sense. You're in Illinois. The Illinois medical investigator, he wouldn't want his name attached to this because that's not how they think. They don't want to be attached to things, right? He's like, oh, yeah, bring in the Iowa guy. They come in. Turns out they don't know. To this day, they don't know how his plane fell apart. And they don't know what happened to his briefcase. I believe the All-Star game was July 10th that year. Because you can't find it. If you look up the story, nowhere in the story does it tell you the date that it happened. So you have to say 1990 MLB All-Star Game. And that game was played July 10th. So the crash happens July 10th. Well, July 11th, technically. Within a couple, by the end of July, I don't actually know the date that this happened, but by the end of July, it happened in July. The committee surrounding the whole case, who knew that he had a briefcase full of pictures that disappeared, they decided that all of the claims in the entire case, not just all of the pedo claims, the child trafficking ring, all of that shit was unfounded. I think they did find him guilty of the $38 million that he took, but I'm not sure actually. And they closed the case. Within a couple of weeks, down in a suspicious plane crash and evidence being lost, they decide that there's no evidence, that this case is nothing, and shut it down. By August 2nd, the Gulf War begins.
What?
And after the Gulf War begins, nobody talks about this anymore. It's gone. Why would anybody talk about this, something that might make our president look bad, when we're at fucking war here? We're supposed to be patriotic. You better tie some yellow ribbons around your shit. These colors don't run. America, baby. You know you're in danger, right? Brown people.
They're coming to take your freedom from you.
They hate your freedom. In their caves, oh man, I hate this cave. And the stupid Americans. Let me get some high power technology and use it against them.
Jesus, they're wrong. Right?
Jesus, the prophet in the Quran. Jesus is mentioned in the Quran. So Ted Gunderson was a message to the rest of them? No. Ted Gunderson was a distraction. Ted Gunderson was a very successful author and conspiracy theorist long after he quit the FBI and started talking shit. He's the reason why the satanic panic was a thing. He created the ultimate distraction for a long, long time. And it's funny because, again, if you look at Satanism, and you look at a lot of the symbology and shit that's in Satanism, it's really similar. You know, they sure do love their star, don't they? It's all the same shit, man. If Ted Gunderson was really doing something he wasn't supposed to do, his fat old ass would have had a heart attack. He was fat and old. He looked like J.J. Dillon, for those who know that reference. There has to be 100% of lower level people involved that just looked the other way. Yeah, no, of course. No, Ted Gunderson wasn't the message. Gary Caradoni was the message. Gary Caradoni and his son was the message. And they all got the message, and they shut that shit down. Yeah, you just mixed up the names. Yeah, no, Gary Caradoni was the message. Ted Gunderson was just a piece of the puzzle. And tell me I'm wrong. It's okay. I'd love for somebody to come in and tell me I'm wrong. I'd love to talk to Teddy. Why didn't they kill? Just like they don't kill Alex Jones. Why don't they kill Alex Jones? Do you think if Alex Jones had a heart attack, anybody'd be surprised? His fat ass. You know, I highly encourage anybody to prove me wrong, to look into this shit, to see if you can find information that proves me wrong. And I'm not saying you are going to do that, Craig. I'm just saying anybody, do it. Because the implications are scary, man. It shows you that this Epstein thing has been happening a lot longer than you think. Same characters, same people. I guarantee Epstein's involved in this story. I just haven't found the connection yet. But it's all right there. It's all right there. I think the Franklin thing is more of a Clinton narrative, but who knows? Epstein seems like a lot more than people think, but at the same time, like I've said from the beginning, Epstein to me was the face. The power behind the throne, just like with Melania, is Ghislaine, which is why Ghislaine, is still said to exist. The broad that's in prison is not Ghislaine. And that broad that happened to get photographed that looks just like Ghislaine and responded to being called Ghislaine, hanging out with her brother, or a guy that just happened to, it's a doppelganger. And she happened to be hanging out with a doppelganger of a guy that looked just like her brother, too. The pictures of Epstein in Israel where it looks like he's literally trying to be in disguise. Like he's grown his hair long and he has a long goatee. Like, dude, did you watch the South Park episode or something? What's going on?
Or the South Park people saw him.
No, this is a way long ago episode where the bad guys have goatees. They're making fun of the Super Friends because the Super Friends would do that. Remember the bad guy episode and Robin had like a goatee and shit. Alex Jones redirects stuff in other direction. Alex Jones does everything he can to protect Israel. If you can find Alex Jones on the Jake Shield podcast, like reluctantly saying, I need to talk about Israel because if I don't, everybody says that I'm working for them, and I still, Alex Jones has been the epitome of controlled opposition for me, at least, since I don't know, 2011. I don't remember when which time he said that there was going to be a collapse, and I told my mother-in-law that she should pull her money out of the bank because it's going to be a collapse coming. But Alex Jones has been a piece of shit the whole time. Like, people, like white people, you don't understand. As a person of color, you know a racist when you see them, when you hear them, when you feel the energy coming off of them. Alex Jones is a fucking racist. If you want to tell me he's not all day long, well, he had a black guy work for him one time. Like, I don't give a shit what you have to say.
Had a slave?
Right. Alex Jones is racist as shit. And there's the video I've shown you guys 100 times. Good God, what the fuck is this thing not working for?
Skynet's taking over.
Skynet taking over, yeah. Evaporated. Oh, I'm already. Well, I'm going to stop you there.
I'm going to stop you right there. I am Jewish.
There you go. And it's his wife, actually, but still.
Well, he probably had to convert.
If you're a true truther, like you're the real deal, you don't have any allegiances.
Would you like to come back?
There's nothing that's on the table or that gets taken off the table, and you're like, no, we can't talk about that. And every single one of them is a Christian. You can't say, oh, Ian Carroll says lots of bad stuff about Israel and Jews, so he must be on the level. He's not. They know they're, and it's what does it matter? If they want, why hasn't Ian Carroll been shut down then? Following, a month later he's on Rogan. Why isn't he shut down? It's all about the convincing you to believe in literally a Jewish savior. I see guys like Dan Blazarian sitting here trying to reconcile it and being like, oh, I want to tell, I like to say that Jesus was actually a Palestinian. And then you get the twins. Well, maybe that's why the Jews hated him so much. Ha 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 ha. Like, I don't care how much you want to believe that Jesus wasn't one of them.
He was a carpenter. No, he wasn't.
No, he's a Jewish preacher, apparently. From the Davidic line. And the reality is, it's not true. Like, again, every truther seems to know that the Bible was commissioned in 1611. By, King James Bible. And I think that's as far as they ever go, but it's like, shouldn't that be enough? And at the point where you start going reset, you start thinking Tartaria, you start thinking 18-something, something happened. Why do you think Jesus fucking slipped through? Of all the shit to slip through, not just Jesus, the Abrahamic religions slip through. And then it's this one little, nothing else survives, no other beliefs, none of that. This is one thing happened through the reset, and I mean, it's so stupid. Once you go reset, none of it's true. None of it before the reset's true, and none of it after the reset is true. Why? Because nothing tells you about the reset, so how can it be true? It's all bullshit. Your grandparents that loved you more than anything, they fucking lie to you.
What?
Your grandparents were not obligated to tell you the truth. And if they came on the trains or they went through whatever sort of reset process there was, and they were told, listen, you know, if you have relatives that end up saying these things, we're going to kill the whole family. You know what we're capable of. So never ever acknowledge any of this shit. Guess what they're going to do? Right? They're never going to say anything. Oh, I lost a like. Wah, 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 wah. You always lose a like when you start talking about Jesus, because, again, so many people stop their thought process once it comes to Jesus, and I just don't get it. Why?
They want to believe.
But why? It's awful. It's not like a beautiful thing. It's a really awful story. Have you read it? It's really bad. It's poorly written. It's a tedious read, and it's really ugly and yuck. Like, yuck. And not to mention, if you're going to read it, then read what it says. It's a Jewish fairy tale. I've been telling you guys for a long time, to me, it's almost like you're watching The Princess Bride. So you're watching an old man tell his grandson a story, but it turns out in movie form. And when you read the Bible, there are multiple times where the person sort of narrating or whatever talks about, you know, this happened to us, and we were this, and when it brings up the Gentiles, every single time, it talks about the Gentiles as like those Gentiles over there, not us Gentiles. Every single one of those stories, the only people capable of building the God phones were Jews. Christians weren't building the God phones and then getting given land. God said, "Oh, I built the phone." No, I was like a mile over. Nobody saw it. No. But yeah, he came down. Oh, well, my wife saw it. Yeah, he changed our names. Yeah, I was Abram, remember? Now I'm Abraham. Yeah. My sister wife, she was Sarai. She's Sarah now. Yeah, that's how it is. He said, all of this is ours. You owe us money now. And we want that house. And that one. And all those. Oh, by the way, dudes, we got to do something here. Come here. I got. So there's this. You know how like everything was destroyed by a flood, I guess, and we're all like Noah's children and shit. Remember? Well, God, like He promised me. I built the phone again, and it's gonna sound weird, but you know how you have a normal dick? Yeah. I'm going to cut the skin around the top off. I mean, God wants me to. I get a big bag of them. It's this thing. Like, He said, as long as we do that, and then we do it ourselves to our kids. We'll wait till 8 days for us. But we do it to all the Goyim too, all our slaves. We mark our slaves. He said He won't destroy the earth again. And we'll know because He'll show us rainbows. And everybody was like, L'chaim. Sounds good to me. Anyway, I'm going to evaporate. I'll see you guys later. Go check out the description for all the links. Go get your free download, www.the-bilderberg-group.com. Go watch Hollywoodism, the second link, the most important film ever made. It tells you why you think the way you do. Then go read the most important article ever written, which is Israel Hayom, Bottom of Darkness, which tells you why they think the way they do. And then there's a bunch of receipts for a bunch of other shit that prove to you that, well, they prove it to me. So go check it out, and then you can debunk it, and that would be cool. I would feel better. So go check this shit out. Have yourself a wonderful day. And most importantly, as always, I say this as sincerely as I possibly can, and really from the deepest recesses of my heart. Pedophiles, kill yourself. Wait for it.